Hi, everybody. Seems like Discord broke things and other things got broken, then things got broken, and then other things got broken. So you're just going to have to give me a second to fix the things that are broken because I don't want things to be broken. That would be terrible. I don't want things to be broken. That's horrible. Why would we want things to be broken? Broken things are no fun. Why is that even? Oh, I see. Save. Lots of stuff to save. We're going to save it all. Save. Load. Save. Load. Got it! Ultimate DJs. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. How you doing? Woo! Man, we got a lot of stuff going on. Good evening. We got things to talk about. We got things to teach you. We got events to talk about. We got hostels to discuss. We got a loop to talk about. We got a new building that will take no less than 20 years. Are you pretty excited about that? 20 years, Blue. 20.
I mean,
20 years.
Right in time for the next eclipse.
20 years. That's right. By the time you get to see the next full eclipse, you could max your war room. We're going to talk about it. Who is here to learn about their war room, learn about the Isolytic event that's going on right now? I would like to welcome you all in, community, to a Talking Trek server sound off. You guys hit it. Spectre kicking us off on server 11. Indominus Prime on 53. Scalyback from the Outback on 193. Jace on 44. Beat for the Gods on 17. Tarvitude on 70. Davrick on 21. Fred Flintstone on 21. Devil in the Belfry on 14. Karkin on 15. Blue on server 8. Raj on 9. What's up? Beat for the Gods. How you doing? Skawa on server 22. Kalad on 74. Remick on 35. Chala on 15. Yo. K9 Tooth is hanging out. What's going on? Shadar on 13. Floyd on 21. Anubis on 201. Odysseus says, tell us the truth. Is this arc designed to kill servers ROE? Maybe. Striker on 49. Silver Tab on 40. Waffly on 42. Whoop, whoop. Bel Air on 70. Spock on 35. And the list goes on and on. 104 additional messages here tonight. 247 people in our live studio audience. Good evening. Welcome in. What a great audience you guys are. Yay! Thank you. Tiberius says, well, it's about darn time. Listen, Tibbs, here's what was happening. Check this out. Check this. First of all, the light's not supposed to be on. Dude, check it out, Tibbs. Looking for the button. I prepared a stupid news for you today. I know I did. Stupid. I'm not going to start it right now, but I prepared a stupid news. I have actual commercial breaks. I did a whole show. I prepared the whole show. All right. I'm very excited about that. Be able to share that with you guys here tonight. Thank you guys so very, very much. And Venadia says, Scopely has not liked the idea of ROE on servers since the beginning. Wonder why it took them so long to try and kill it. Listen, they're not trying to kill it. They're not trying to kill it. Okay? As a matter of fact, proof positive they're not trying to kill it because they excluded minors. Guys, what? Why? What? Whose ROE protects warships? I'm asking for a friend. All right, I'm asking for a friend. I mean, seriously, the event actually excludes minors. Why?
That one does, but
Why?
does the
Why?
ISO event PvP?
The ISO event PvP. You're talking about the I think there's 2 more days. Minors are being hit. You know.
Well, no, I was just curious. It has been brought up, but I'm.
Which one? Which one? Which one?
I was
Which one? A symbol.
Kobayashi, not the Kobayashi. What's that one?
Unless
ISO
they're
damage one.
OPC.
Has a PvP aspect.
Okay, but they're OPC. They're OPC. Come on. They're OPC. Nobody's just out
OPC is OPC.
That's right. Nobody's out there just sweeping minors. All right. I mean, if they are, they're not doing it for the event. That's not a Scopely thing. All right. But listen, I know people are grumpy about it. We're going to talk all about it here tonight. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about this new isolytic damage event that is happening right now. Blue Mandalorian is here. He's going to give us the secret to everything amazing about this event. Aren't you, Blue? He's very grumpy about it. Listen, I had to literally drag it out of him. All right, Karkin and I, you should have seen it.
The rewards are good. I don't want to be like, oh, by the way, this is how you take it from me.
That's what this community is all about. This is what teaching is all about. We have the opportunity to teach you tonight about isolytic damage and what is so good about it. Why? You're right, though. The rewards are good. The rewards are excellent. Now, as you can see on your screen, I have done nothing yet. Okay, I'm just logging in. But that's right, Spectre. It is time to learn. Some people have put up some mega massive scores. Canine Tooth, I think, has 4 quintillion. Blue, how many points do you have in this event right now? Now, there's still 36 hours left at the time of taping.
See.
So, yeah, that's right. Retro Hunter says, tell me the trick. Let's see, how many? Let's see, that is 475 billion. Trillion,
I have
quadrillion.
88 trillion.
He's got, Retro Hunter has 3 quadrillion. That's quadrillion. Is that right? Let's see.
I mean,
million, billion, trillion. Yeah, quadrillion.
I'm not going to compete with G6 here. Come on.
I'm just saying. Just saying. And the rewards are actually pretty daggone good. What do you have in here? Borg Queen's Remains? Golly, what do Borg Queen's Remains do? They increase isolytic damage.
For all ships.
For all ships. And you know what? We've been talking about this. Now, I did see a really, really funny meme earlier. I saw a very, very funny meme earlier. Somebody said, it's so funny to watch all the people who have ignored isolytic over the last 6 months to be frustrated at the fact that they're struggling against the Gorn. In that part of this loop. Of course, you've got this other isolytic event and stuff like that. But that's just it, Scaly Back. He says, where do Queen's Remains drop from? They don't! Which is why this event is actually so good and so valuable and should be focused on by people. This is your new, I don't want to call it a new, but it could be the replacement for, I don't know. This is the new, what do we call it, Blue? The critical damage event. What's that one called? The critical damage, where they. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? That cool.
Been so long.
Yeah,
it's been an H.
It's been a heavy hitter. Heavy hitter. Thank you, Lloydson. Appreciate that. Heavy hitter. That's right.
There you go. I got an H.
This is the new heavy. That's all I needed. It clued me in. This is your new heavy hitter right here. Isolytic damage. Okay, and these rewards are actually decent. All right. And the reason that I feel that it's important for us to talk to you about it tonight is because I've been telling you for the last 2 months that isolytic was going to be important. Now, granted, Scopely hung me out to dry a little bit. It was slightly later than I expected it to be. All right. But I've been talking to you guys about the dual generators for 2 months. All right. Cruzito said no sound alerts. No, we're doing a podcast, man. Here, I'll turn them on for a second. Just for a second. There you go. Thank you, and Hani. Thank you, FF Engineer, for your stream streak and your bits. Thank you, Cruzito, for your 24-month resub. Thank you. Here, I'll put it up there. There it is. There you go, Cruzito. Thank you very much. All right. Now, listen. I do want to thank you guys so very much for those of you listening in simulcast, those of you on the Twitch. Appreciate that very much. I know we got the hype train going, but it's a podcast. We don't do the hype trains on the podcast. But I am going to do this. I'm going to take a very quick break, all right, because we have prepared a full-on show for you tonight. So while I send the Twitch audience to break, yes, indeedy, all right, yes, indeed, the podcast audience will get, for the first time in, what? 2 months? 2 months? We're going to give you a stupid news. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back right after this on our Twitch simulcast. For those of you still in podcast, it is indeed time for your most favoritist segment that you have missed for so long. It is time for your stupid news.
Stupid news!
Uh-oh. News! It is indeed time for your news. Good evening, everybody. Appreciate you guys, one and all, for being here. Jonathan says, I wish I could unsubscribe from Twitch so I don't have to hear stupid news. I should give you stupid news.
In chipmunk voice. Tulsa King director Craig Zisk is in the news this week and defended Sylvester Stallone following claims that the actor verbally abused background actors on set. He assured everyone that Sly didn't say those things because he could barely talk in the first place. Stallone was accused of calling certain actors ugly. He was then promptly handed a mirror. There you go. Thank you. Good. A person. This is awful. Hey, Puddin'. A person with a ticket matching all 6 Powerball numbers in Saturday's $1.3 billion jackpot came forward this week to claim the prize. The money was won in Oregon, which means now, Blue, this person can now afford to buy their mom an account and take it straight to level 60. Yep. No, not 70. No, not 70, just 60. 1.3 billion's not enough to get to 70, okay? Just 60. You got that.
But the true savings is, getting that Warhol down to 10 years. You know?
Can I turn this off yet, please? Pretty, please. Francis Ford Coppola's new movie, Megalopolis, is reportedly struggling to find a distributor. Studio executives are confused by the film because it doesn't contain a cast of superheroes or a group of monsters. So they're not entirely sure what to do with it. Thank you. Despite immense curiosity about the film, potential distributors reportedly find Megalopolis too niche and commercially risky for a large marketing push. So you might not be able to see a piece of art from an amazing director, but don't you worry, Fast and the Furious 13 is coming soon. Don't worry about it. Yes. Whoop. Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy hit a $2.16 million bet when UConn won the national championship this past week, which means he's the rare person to invest money in a college and not come out with crippling debt. So there's that. Will Smith in final news tonight helped Jackie Chan celebrate his 70th birthday by sharing some throwback snaps from the Karate Kid remake, which was frustrating for everyone who saw the pictures because it took us years to forget that movie ever happened. Ladies and gentlemen, that is just stupid
news.
I thought you said this would be a gift.
Yep. Okay. MDB says, hey, also, OJ died today. I wasn't going to go into that during the stupid news. That's not exactly a comedy bit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I wasn't
Like,
sure. You were silent when I said it. I was like, oh, he had a bit.
oh, you said something? I wasn't even listening. What did you say? You threw in an OJ joke? Shame on you, Blue. You should be ashamed of yourself.
No, I do. I just said OJ died, and then I was silent. So I thought, oh, he might.
I wasn't
like,
listening.
Oh,
I was reading the next
stupid
story.
news is in the barrel or something.
Oh God, that's terrible. No, I was reading the next story. I didn't even hear it. Indominus Prime says it was very good news.
What
8 out
if
of
his
10.
last words were like, "I did it."
No, you know what? So that's really funny. I was watching. That's not funny, but God, oh my God, you did it, Blue. You drew me in.
I did it.
Somebody actually told me this today. They were like, the least he could have done was like say something. Right? Like, he's dying and he's fighting cancer and he could have said something, but he didn't. Now the world will never know. And
Jimmy Hoffa is right. Oh,
I mean, could have been a thing. Could have really put us at ease if we could have actually figured it out. Anywho, I didn't, but radio DJs did have some. Wait, what? What? I don't know what you're saying. That being said, I appreciate it. Indominus Prime giving the news an 8 out of 10 today. Thank you. Beat for the God saying that was actually pretty daggone funny. Thank you. Really, really do appreciate that. So, you guys are terrible. You guys are awful. There's a lot of OJ jokes in the chat. I will not read these. I will not. A man died today.
That's a good one.
A man died today. Okay? Listen. Since you guys insist.
Sorry.
What are you laughing at? Which one are you laughing
O.J.
at?
Simpson excited for God to tell him who the real killer was.
Oh my God. I am not going to laugh at that. Anywho.
You're gonna mentally giggle.
Nope. Damn it, Blue. Cut it out. All right, guys, we have stuff to do. Welcome back to our Twitch audience who are back from commercial break. Appreciate you guys being here. That's right. Shinjo says it's okay. OJ actually died yesterday. His family announced it today. The timing is more appropriate. Thank you, Shinjo. Appreciate it. Yeah, where's my shut up Karkin soundbite?
Cool down is complete.
where's my shut up Karkin soundbite? I need that. Karkin. Karkin.
I'm just sitting back
Shut
and
the
not
hell up,
laughing at
Karkin.
all.
All right.
Not laughing at all. That Bronco
It was
one
Karkin's
wasn't
idea.
funny at all.
Oh, thanks a lot, Karkin. God bless. Mama Mentality says we're all going to hell. I know. It's happening. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ultimate DJs. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. We've got a lot of stuff to get into tonight where we are going to talk about this new Isolytic event that's going on. This is what I was kind of teasing Blue about just a little bit ago. There we go. Okay, yeah, this is the Kidamare Accord violations. It's a solo leaderboard for dealing isolytic damage. You scored this event by dealing isolytic damage in PvP. Bonus points for firing isolytic damage against Gorn hunters. You can do it. So basically, you're getting points for isolytic no matter what, PvE, PvP, but you're getting a triple bonus for fighting Gorn hunters. Okay? Now, would Gorn hunters actually be... MDB says, has nothing to do with the Gorn. Here's, guys, when Heavy Hitter came out... Well, I mean, it could. You could have something to do with the Gorn.
There is one key aspect of Gorn where even if their hull health is lower, they can only take isolytic damage. So
That's true.
It's 100% scoring instead of partial scoring.
It is
others.
100%
However,
scoring.
If you
And
do
there's
find
no
a
tokens.
hostile that has, a magnitude of millions higher health, that might be a better route.
All right, so let's break down the crypticness, the cryptocicity. Is that a word? The cryptocicity of Blue's statements. We're going to do this very simply. Pull up stfc.space, everybody. I'll wait. Go right ahead. stfc.space. I'll give you a second. Okay.
I hope the people on Twitch can still hear you when they leave the screen.
That's right. You just pull up a different window. All right. stfc.space. Now, listen, Guys, there are a couple of ways that we have identified hostiles in the past. We've had events. Heavy Hitter is one that comes to mind where you scored based on hull health. All right. There's been events in the past based on shield health and hull health. There's been events in the past based on damage. And by the way, just going to throw out there that damage events sometimes are not won by what would appear to be traditional damage output, but you would look at hostiles or ships or hostiles that have certain ships that go with them where you are increasing your damage output. All right. As a matter of fact, for a
Also,
very
variable, it would be points that the event is actually attributing to that hostile
sure
in
for
normal cases.
For the very longest time, Borg probes did us a very, very solid job. Why? It wasn't actually because of the probe. It was because of the Vidar and its massive damage output multiplier. All right. So what we would typically do, though, is we would come into stfc.space, and the way that we would try to look for something like this is we would search for a hostile. And Blue, if we were teaching somebody how to do this for the first time, what would we do? We would search for hostiles. We would probably search for hostiles with the largest power. Is that right?
Yeah, and you gotta flip the.
We're going to
Flip
flip
the
the arrow. Now, you're right,
Not
Karkin.
necessarily largest power.
You're right,
No.
Karkin, but that's going to get us in the general area.
Not all the time, but get to your answer.
You got it. We're going to get there, not all the time, all right? But it is going to start with the hostiles with the highest power. Now,
I will say the reason that they are the highest power might not even be related at all to their hull health. It might be related to the fact that they they throw like 15 armadas amount of damage per second.
Well, that's
per
what I mean. The
millisecond.
damage aspect of that, the power portion throws off the variable that you're looking for because you're getting points from ISO damage. That's what we're looking for right now.
mm-hmm.
So you're getting that from two things: hull and shields.
Yes. And that's actually why I wanted to start.
No, just hull.
I wanted to
No,
start. You're
deal
getting
damage to
shield.
shields.
You're getting shield and hull. All right, at least
Oh, you do get
traditionally.
shield.
Traditionally, you do get shield and hull. Now, the reason that I'm wanting to start with power, okay, Karkin is right, Blue is right. Power doesn't necessarily equal health.
This is not 100%. This is 60% of the time, every time.
Yeah, that's right. But it does give you an idea of where you want to kind of start looking, because then what we're going to do is we're coming into that hostile. We're going to take a look at numbers like shield health and hull health. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, obviously, you don't need to spend your time looking at hostiles that you cannot hit. All right, so we're going to pop down a little bit, and you're going to find something that has the largest amount of shield and hull that exists.
I mean, yeah. And the fact of the matter is, it's just you're already down to 48 before any other hostiles popped up.
Exactly, and this is what I kind of want to point out. If we take a look on stfc.space, the very first page, if I'm sorting by power, the very first page comes out to all Xindi aquatic hostiles. I'm going to put this in the graphics room for you guys. That means the strongest hostiles in the game are Xindi aquatic hostiles. Now, here's the problem with that. Okay? The problem with that is Xindi aquatics are where? They're locked behind tokens. Okay? They're locked behind token space. So, and that's right, Brent, you can only get to them if you have an NX-01.
No,
So-
I mean, like, even if you could get to them, I mean, don't even bother touching them. Because the problem, like, one of the systematic problems, like, that Scopely ran into here, is that they design ship as it's, like, combat-wise with a built-in gatekeeper. Where, like, I don't really care what ship you're using. If you're not using the NX-01, go away. So that is how they ended up with these monster stats here. So it's all health needed to be related to it, but fact of the matter is, when they're in the trillions and nothing I know else is in the trillions, it's not really an easy. It's a pretty easy choice.
Sure. So let's go back, because I feel like people are confused. So I'm going to pause and pull everybody back in.
Mhm.
The way that these events score is based on shield and hull. That's what gets your points. Now, in this case, or in any damage dealt event, people are going to say, well, you get points from the damage, just like the scorecard says. Yes, that's true. But how much damage can you deal? How much damage is the potential for a hostile to take? All right. As in, how much damage can I actually score off of a singular hostile? That
You can only deal what can be taken.
That's right. That's why we're looking for shield and hull. Okay? Because shield and hull, the more that it has, the more damage it can absorb, the more points can be scored on that hostile. That's why we start right here. However, there is a secondary piece that I love to point out, which in this particular case will go completely hand in hand. All right, because you're also obviously looking for maximum output of score, all right, or damage, rather. In this particular case, we are looking for the maximum output of isolytic, all right, maximum output of isolytic damage. So what we are wanting to do is not only find the maximum damage that we can put out, but also the maximum damage that a hostile can take, all right? The newest ship into the game, the NX-01, has the largest damage boost in existence. This is an event that 100% was written for the NX-01. All right?
Like, imagine if the sarcophagus had that bonus. It would actually be useful.
That's true. You look at any ship that has a damage output bonus, like the Vidar, like the Franklin, like the NX-01, even potentially like the Voyager has against bioships. I think Voyager has a damage boost there, doesn't it? Or no? Yeah, it does.
Against all Delta Quadrant hostiles.
Yeah, all Delta Quadrant hostiles. So anything with a damage output is going to automatically push you up. Monaveen, another one against the Texas class. So you're looking at
Monaveen that also is special, is the introduction, or not the introduction, but a specialty of isolytic damage.
That's true. It has more isolytic damage than anything. However, what you are also considering is how much isolytic damage you have, right? When you're talking about increasing by 1,000 million %, which is what my NX-01 is here, pretty sure. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 100 million %. That's what I've got. 100 million %. That is basically a 1 million times multiplier. Okay? That's what that is. A 1 million X on my damage. So if I have a 1 million X on my standard damage, what am I going to get on my isolytic damage? If I've got a 1 million multiplier on my standard, what is the multiplier on my isolytic?
To be fair, though, it's just... I think it's more about what you're killing with them. You know, what you're killing can take so much.
I mean, that's true.
So,
but if you didn't have the damage
really
output,
matter how much.
Thank you, Lango. The answer is 1 million.
It's always relative to hull health. Your score, I mean.
If we had these hostiles and we didn't have a damage multiplier, it wouldn't be the best hostile to kill. Right? Yeah.
Well, it depends if you're killing it or not. If it didn't have a damage multiplier, would its health be in the trillions?
If it didn't have a damage multiplier, you wouldn't be putting out the damage. All right, you can have a 15 trillion hostile, all right? But if you don't have the damage multiplier, you're not scoring the damage, so it doesn't matter, right? It's an unbeatable target.
I mean, the good thing is that I can know, like, I didn't even think about, Leslie cheesing in PvP. It's nice that they got around that. With an obscenely higher scoring metric.
Is that actually working? That's not working in this case, is it?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even bother testing it.
That's not
going to could be. I was just thinking about it.
It probably would work, but like at this point though,
up to the trillions
like,
of
what player ship has like a hull health that's really comparable to, the big duty hostiles.
That's exactly my point.
There's probably, even if you don't have the NX-01.
I know,
TVs still
TJ.
fly
I'm
around.
trying, man. I'm trying. Blue is just wandering down the path of unimaginable rambling at the moment.
Someone has to wander.
No, dude, stop wandering. Stay on the path, okay? All right. Here's why Leslie doesn't work. All right. Let's talk about that for a second. Why would Leslie not work? Has nothing to do. Blue!
Most of your crew slots are taken up with non.
Yeah, Leslie doesn't work.
isolytic
Let's go with that.
officers.
Oh.
Where are you
Okay.
getting your isolytic damage with the Leslie crew?
Yeah.
Leslie doesn't work. Shush.
Should
It doesn't work because you're not going to do 5 trillion damage in 100
Thank you,
rounds.
Matters. For the love of God, thank you, Matters. All right? I appreciate that. You are absolutely correct. You do not have the damage multiplier, therefore you do not have the isolytic output. End of story. You do want the highest hull health that you can kill because that will maximize the point score for that hostile. But at the end of the day, the scoring comes in the amount of damage that you can put out. The amount of damage that you can put out. The larger the damage multiplier, the larger your isolytic multiplier. Okay? Leslie is not going to work here. Not because the enemy doesn't have unlimited hull, but because you can't possibly make up for a 100 million% damage multiplier. Okay? If Jonathan Ingram's Borg cube came up to me, all right, and I tried to kill it, that would be fine. He's got billions and billions and billions of hull. I could even try to cheese him with Leslie. What am I missing, Matters? You said it. What am I missing there? Why can't I score trillions of points against that Borg cube?
You won't do that much damage in the fight.
You
It
got it.
times out after 99 rounds.
You got it. Okay? So the point that we're making here is, yes, you do want a large hostile. I'm not negating that, but that's not the only factor. You also need the maximum amount of damage output because that's simply how this event scores. The event scores on damage output, and as a secondary, or not even as a secondary, but as a result, then you're dealing with the isolytic output. All right? And again, going back to answer the first question, where did I lose the event? I lost the event. If you have a 1 million times multiplier on standard damage, then yes, you will also have a 1 million times multiplier on your isolytic. Then on top of that, you're going to stack up with isolytic officers. On top of that, you're going to stack up with your isolytic cascade, which multiplies your damage and then multiplies your damage against itself. All of these multipliers make for huge, massive, massive numbers. Brassman says leaderboards were reasonable until everyone started discovering NX-01 was essentially the cheat code. Absolutely. And that's why I wanted to explain what it is and how it can also be played by somebody else. All right? Unfortunately, the answer is pretty much the NX-01 in this case. Why? Because we go to the largest, most powerful, most hull health, most shield health points in the game, and the entire first 2 pages are Xindi Aquatics. That's where they exist. And exactly like Blue said, after he went around the mountain 14 times. Why? Because the ship itself has such a massive damage output that you have to have massive shield to go with it. It makes it the absolute amazing target. Let's go back in time. When Heavy Hitter first came out, do you guys remember what the best target was in the game? At the introduction of Heavy Hitter, who remembers the first most valuable hostile to go after? Joker says Swarm. Brassman has it correct. It was actually Eclipse. That's
That
right.
depended on the points modifier for that particular event.
Well,
Because it
I'm
counts
referring to when they first came out because there were no multipliers. It was straight up damage.
Separatist.
I don't think
Were
no,
Separatist bosses?
it wasn't Separatist. Those were only level 26.
Well, it
was a-
wasn't a specialty ship or anything, but it was like a hull health something.
It was the armadas,
I
the
think it was way back in
Klingon.
the day.
It was the Klingon armadas because you could fight them fastest.
Well, that's
think.
true. Yeah, Klingon armadas, because you had, what, a 90-second timer on those things. But, yeah, no, I think a lot of people did it with Exchange. I did it with Exchange. All right. Now, Cruzito said, obviously this event was intended
Are
to
you
be
talking about heavy
Gorn.
hitter?
Yes, when it was very new.
Oh yeah, I
Very
just
beginning.
cheesed that. I exploited that, I should say.
Oh, Lord. Show is off the rails, hasn't even started. All right. Cruzito said this was obviously intended to be hitting Gorn. Why didn't they just make it a Gorn-only event? That could have brought lots of people into systems for the PvP event as well. I mean, it still can, right? I mean, that's the go-to. If that's where you're trying to get to, if that is what you're trying to participate in, then that's a good way to go. Now, Ransusi says Axion. I remember Axion being really, really good, okay? Axion were really, really good, but not until much later, obviously, because Axion wasn't available when Heavy Hitter first started. But then, as Karkin points out, they did add the points multiplier. And that's when they kind of messed things up because G5 hostiles became really, really good at that point. Axion hostiles became really, really good. There was, but if you go way, way back, it was Eclipse. Swarm was also really good at that time. Swarm armadas were actually very good at that time before a lot of these new hostiles came out. It is all about the largest damage multiplier that you can do. Stella had a damage multiplier. Franklin had a damage multiplier. Vidar had God, I can't talk, a damage multiplier. Any of those ships would do that. Okay? That's right, Jonathan Ingram. Wham did it with Exchange for the original cross-server damage event. That was a damage output event. Now, granted, he did it with 6 hostiles, but I'm pretty sure he came in second place in the entire galaxy. Like, of all hundreds of thousands of players, one of our own community ground that thing out for literally, what was it, 48 hours? 24 hours? I don't remember how long it was. 6 Voyagers. Or 6 Stellas. Yep. 6 Voyagers. That's what he had. That was right.
It's that man some carpal tunnel treatment.
Yeah. All right. That's what he did. So you're
However,
looking at hostiles with damage multipliers. That's how the event scores. Okay. Now, if you don't want to die, yeah, it needs to be a hostile you can kill, preferably one with a lot of hull. You can score a lot of points on. That way, this is your time efficiency piece of it, is scoring a lot of points off of a singular hostile. You still got to survive, or in this case, not if you're going to try the Xindi Aquatics. All right. But even if you take a look at this screenshot, even the Xindi Aquatic interceptors are doing pretty daggone good.
There are 10 spots in this bracket, for my bracket at least. And I don't think anyone who doesn't own an NX-01 should put any amount of effort into it, because any NX-01 user is going to beat them by magnitudes.
Oh, for sure.
Thousands.
Yeah.
It's just nothing. It's just even like all the bonus specialty ships have their own bonuses, but the NX-01 has. Like, it's not like, it's
100 million
I just have to
percent.
kill 100 more. No, you have to kill thousands more to match it. So it's just not a possibility.
And again, I point out that this is not new. Okay? This is not new.
They're still figuring it out.
This is not new. Okay? Heavy Hitter has always, and this, let's not pretend this is not Heavy Hitter, just slightly different. Heavy Hitter has always varied depending on what comes out in the game then and what the damage multipliers are and the point multipliers. There were times where Exchange was best for Heavy Hitter. Then it moved to Mantis for a little while. Then it went back to Faction Hostiles for a bit. Then it became something else. This now is basically for Gorn. And yes, I agree that there is always a special hostile. It's almost always the hostile that just came out or the ship that just came out. Axion was really good, Jonathan Ingram points out, until they changed the multipliers. Then Axion became worthless. All right? But as we are learning right here, this is very, very simply put, nothing in the game with any form of multiplier can make up for a hostile with 17 trillion hull. All right? This is, in fact, an NX-01 event. That being said, if you own an NX-01, how can you best utilize it? Let me ask this question. If you own an NX-01, should you be using the Leslie thing and dying against the battleships? Let's talk about that for a second. If you're going to use an NX-01, what hostile are you hitting? Look, the entire page is full of Xindi aquatic hostiles. Which ones are you hitting? Those battleships give big bonuses, but wait a second. The battleships and the interceptors are basically the same. Kinda. Pretty much. I mean, they have a difference of 100 billion power, but don't let that fool you. Let's take a look what the Xindi battleship hull is. 17 million, billion, trillion. 17 trillion. That's what Jonathan Ingram just said. 17 trillion on a level 60 battleship. Let's take a look at a level 60 interceptor. Oh my gosh, it is still 17 trillion. Same hull, smaller guns, easier to kill with your NX-01. The DPR, that's right, matters. The DPR changes. You can survive. Let's not forget, you were meant to farm the interceptors. Now, if you want to become famous, you do go and take out that K9 cannon. K9 Tooth has a ship named after him, so he's pretty excited. He's like, I'm just going to grind the battleships. All right. Now, ATX General says, Pike Moreau Chen giving you a nice farm. But here now comes the leading edge. If you are an NX-01 player, right? If you're an NX-01 player and you have solved the puzzle about what hostiles to hit, now let's talk about crew. Pike Moreau Chen. Sure, great. You'll survive a very, very long time. What is the event based on?
It ain't about survival.
It's not about survival. It's about isolytic damage. It's about isolytic damage. So, yes.
And there's a ratio of damage that you deal.
Sure.
There's only so much of that ratio that can be isolytic.
Absolutely. Pike Moreau, you're exactly right, Chris. A Pike Moreau Chen is fine for number of kills, defense, if you're trying to last a long time, but not damage output. If you're wanting damage output, then we are going to really, really focus on not only isolytic, but what else? The number one ship ability in the game and has been for 4 years. Hull breach.
Oh, well.
Thank you, Putz.
Yeah.
Hull breach. Crits. You got it. All right. So we're wanting a little bit of BLT under deck. We're wanting a little bit of Hue under deck. We're wanting to look at that critical floor prime over there and some of those favors, right?
I mean,
or not the prime, but the critical floor research.
It is kind of interesting, though. Hull breach is nice and all, but, I don't think it depends on only if there's like a bonus that gives you, like if you're using an interceptor that has increased isolytic damage because of the hull breach. But in itself, whether or not you're critical hitting or not, it's still that ratio.
If a majority of your crits or your hits are critical hits, then having the hull breach percentage increase would also increase your isolytic percentage increase.
Absolutely, it would, Blue.
If you're dealing like 30-70, like standard to ISO, and you get hull breach, you're still dealing 30 to 70.
Yeah, by the time you kill
you're
it,
just dealing
your
more damage.
percentage
You're
of
just dealing
isolytic
everything
is going to
faster.
be the same. So,
Yeah.
get
So I'm
morale
just saying,
instead
like,
of hull breach.
when you have the finite amount of hull health to take away, you're still gonna be at the end of the day, whether or not you're critical hitting it or not, it's still gonna be that ratio.
And that's
So
totally
it's just
cool.
a matter of increasing your ratio being the priority over something like hull breach. Hull breach is a priority if it helps you increase your ISO, like via like an artifact that triggers by it.
Well,
Or by
that's
killing
true.
Something.
That's true. I get that. But also, you're wanting to also survive, right? Kill the largest hostile that you can, and that's absolutely where hull breach comes into play. Let's not pretend that the amount of damage that you do and the criticals and the hull breach don't let you hit bigger targets and let you hit more of them, right? So, yes, I'm sure that the ratio stays the same, but at the same time, like, we're also not wanting to kill 3 hostiles and go home either, are we? That's right, Bosman. Your hull breach gives you longer life. Okay? Mimi agrees. Hull breach doesn't change how much ISO damage you do in the fight, but it does increase the amount of overall damage that's issued. therefore increasing the amount of isolytic that's issued and how much damage you take per fight, therefore giving you longer life, grinding more hostiles, et cetera, et cetera.
I
Okay?
don't know the
Mine
NX-01, but
was
its firing
sorry.
pattern play into effect? Like, does it have a big gun that if it crit and it had a larger percentage on that big crit, it would play a big difference in your whether or not your
second-
isolytic
your
was
gun or their
second
gun?
round.
Okay, your gun or their gun?
your gun for whether or
Your
not
gun, it
whole
would
bridge.
might matter in regards to, wouldn't that matter, DJ, in regards to Enterprise E Picard, because he does it, he triggers via like weapon firing, like by number of weapon fires.
Enterprise
like-
E Picard. All right, let's take a quick peek. We're going to take a look at Enterprise E Picard, which, by the way, is an officer I'm using. All right, I'm using
He
me
may
myself.
Not be good on short fights.
Hi, Jules.
Hi.
He's one of the holy trinity of the isolytic officers at the moment. Well, 3.5 Trinity. We get Chapel.
Well, I would say if the rounds are less than 5, you're better off putting Pike in the captain's chair with Janeway and Enterprise E Data on the other side, rather than putting NT Picard, because he needs a little bit of time to kind of warm up. So you may get more isolytic ratio by putting Pike in the captain's chair instead of Picard, if you're not concerned about also getting loot.
And that could
Yeah.
depend on the level of your officers itself. Because if Pike's percentage at his 20% isn't higher than what Picard could give you in the short number of rounds, then
Well, I think that's
Yeah,
why
that's
he's
true.
saying in less than 5 rounds, because what Picard will do is he will actually only get you up to 15%. Is that what you're basically saying, Jules? Is that he only increases your isolytic? Yeah, but on the other hand, that's Cascade, right? So
Yeah, my max data was doing more than my tier, whatever Picard.
oh,
and if
hi,
the boost
hi,
that you're
baby
getting
Jules.
from Pike boosts your data higher than what you can get from Picard, then it might be viable to put put Pike in there instead of Picard.
I have
Now-
a tier 2 Picard. I can confirm that a max data does outclass it.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm never going to confirm anything for anybody in that regard because as we have discovered so painfully over the last several months, your mileage may vary. Okay?
No, I was doing a straight up ratio test. It worked. It checked out.
But isn't
It
that
was the
per
same.
weapon
It was
shot?
the same.
So
It was the
can't it
same
get higher than 15?
hostile hull health. So it could only be the same method, just the one swap. So only the difference being the isolytic ratio.
And yes, Lango, depending on the officers, depending on their tiers, depending on your research, depending on your artifacts, all that stuff is going to matter. Okay? All that stuff is going to matter. That being said, this event does kind of come down to one thing. All right? And I think we can all kind of see now what that is. Officers, or hostiles, rather. Hostiles with the huge, monstrous hulls where you've got huge, monstrous capabilities. And crazy enough, they're actually relatively easy to farm with an NX-01 with a 1 million damage multiplier. All right? That's your answer. That's your key.
I mean, as much as I love this cheesing this, and I'm sure as much as they love incentivizing NX-01 ownership, I would, excluding the Zinnia Aquatics from the event, would probably make it a lot more interesting.
This is,
feature
but
runs.
yeah, but they do this. This is not
in terms
new.
of like, if it's removed, then all of a sudden we're looking at a more way. Like, I believe if it was removed, we're looking at a much more competitive battlefield.
Agreed, but has Heavy Hitter ever really been super competitive, or is it always geared towards one hostile?
I mean, I don't know if that's Leslie territory.
Everyone's been
but-
able to reach that one hostile at least.
Not necessarily.
Maybe.
When Axion first came out, that was not the case. When Franklin A was out, you couldn't get to the deep swarms, so not always. All right.
It's like we're in
Then
the
it was dependent
trillions with
on
the
your-
NX-01. So like, I think
Then, yeah,
Sorry.
with the Herodian, it depended on your Voyager tier, which a lot of people spent to increase that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Blaze says, that I'm enjoying my NX-01 advantage, and that is probably part of what they were designing here. Now, I don't know if they were expecting scores in the multiple quadrillions. Okay, I don't know about all that, but this is certainly the way that this event is working, and we wanted to take the time to break that down for you and explain that. We are going to take a look tonight also at the Gorn loop, because a lot of people thought Gorn was going to be the way to go, and I think that Logan did try to actually point us in that direction. I think he tried to weight the score a little bit, but it just didn't. The math didn't check out.
Well, in his defense, I don't think he probably just didn't realize that they made such a gatekeeper hostile in recent history that would just destroy the math.
Quickly change it to 100 points per Gorn.
I don't know that that's the
It's-
multiplier, but yes, it is a simple fix, Karkin. You're absolutely right.
No,
to
the
be honest with you.
multiplier right now is
I
just
don't
3.
think that's a simple fix. Like you gotta get that thing up to trillions
Doesn't need to be trillions.
to compete with an NX at 1.
Well, with 3 points, the 3-point modifier right now, I was getting, I'm trying to remember, it was like 200 million or something for the like low end 43s. So I'm assuming going higher, you could probably, if you added a larger multiplier that equivalated to what you're getting with the other ones, I
I
can see
love
that
it,
being
Karkin.
a simple fix.
Equivalated. I want to make that a word. Trademark right away.
Equivalated.
Equivalated.
That is a great fake word.
All right. It is a good fake
Hey,
word.
is it fake if everybody understands what it means?
That is my one rule of made up words. If everyone understands it, it's okay.
All right. Let's take a look. We're going to do this last little piece right here. We're going to take a look at the Gorn hostels, and then we're going to come back and go to Jules in the laboratory for some stuff on the Gorn loop and the war room. Jules, the war room, it had a vein popping out on my head the other day, at least the war chest did, and today I think I had a full-on stroke. We're going to talk a little bit about that right on the other side of the break. But
Well, if you go in a coma, you might wake up in time for some good progress there.
I mean, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it'll only take 20 years. Listen, I want to do this very quickly. Let's take a look at these Gorn hunters, all right? Because that is clearly
You
what
still
they
killed them today.
Yeah,
Because
what?
it's an SMS.
What?
You should still kill the Gorn today because there's an SMS.
Oh, yes. Yep. Anyway,
But yes.
yeah. Blue, go fix yourself a drink. Go
Sorry.
make a drink. Maybe make a plate of nachos. All right. Let's talk about these Gorn hunters here for a second. Guys, let's pretend for a second that we are, in fact, I don't know, grinding. And I know this is not the right number for everybody, but let's pretend 60, level 60. Okay? Rubik says, you sound like an exhausted dad. It has been a long day, but I'm feeling good. It's fine. Let's take a look at that 17 trillion hostile, right? That's what we were just looking at a second ago. John, was the 17 trillion hostile. Okay, let me get back to it and find it if I can. I don't think I'm going to. Yep, here we go. Zindi Aquatic Cruiser, 17 trillion. That is on a level 60 Zindi Aquatic. All right, so let's come over here and now go to the Gorn. And let's do a level 60 there also, okay? We'll take a look at this Gorn battleship, all right, level 60, where it has hull health of only 2 billion, all right? We're going 17 trillion to 2 billion. Right there is the multiplier that you need. Jules?
Multiply it by 3, because that's what they're giving for the points.
You don't need to multiply by 3.
You're only at 9.
Don't need to multiply by 3 because we are writing a new multiplier. So
Oh, I thought you were doing a points equivalence. Like which one? Yeah, never mind.
Jesus Christ, is
I'm just
everybody
giving you- I'm just
effing
giving
high
you
today?
reasons to
Are
press
you
the button.
all drunk and high? What is the day? Is this the
Maybe
20th?
you're.
Fuck. God. Jeez. Okay. Let's go back. Shut the hell up, Karkin. Oh, God.
I was just trying to get the button hit. That's all.
I appreciate it, man. I haven't made your button yet. I promise I'm going to. All right, 17 trillion. We're going to divide that. Actually, I'm going to go to 17,000. We're going to divide that by 2.4, okay? The multiplier needs to be 7,000. 7,000. Jules, am I missing the mark on this? I know, Tarpitude. Me too. I wish. 7,000.
Between 5 and 7,000 sounds about right.
There you go. Perfect. Simple. That's your multiplier. Logan, easy fix, man. Easy fix. And by the way, you may not even want to fix it because the NX01 is your pride and joy. That's your paid product. That's what you might be trying to push. Cool. Okay? But if you wanted to make it competitive, then simply offer the Gorn, or if you're trying to push the Gorn, offer a 7,000x multiplier. Boom. Done. Okay? Z-Brand says 7,000 for it to be equal, but maybe he should want to incentivize Gorn a little bit. Cool. Go 8,000, 8,500. All right? Roughly in there. All right? Now, Brassman says arguably it might not need to be that high since you can kill many more as opposed to the aquatics. Well,
The token lock, yeah.
the token lock is there, but I would almost argue, you know what? I think I actually like that, Brassman. If you lowered it down to like 5,000 or 6,000, that would incentivize you still doing the NX01 and still reward those players, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, Morbid John, who claimed that it was going to benefit you to bank these cells. Holy smokes. I remember kind of chuckling. He said, man, you're going to want these. You're going to want these. You're going to want these cells. There's going to be events. Holy smokes. I said, man, I don't know if you need to bank up that many. He was like, oh, no, I'm going to take every one I can. And now Blue Mandalorian and Karkin and Matters and Jules are coming out and saying, listen, this event actually pays pretty daggone good. Daggone. I wish I had the cells now.
We see the same with the Borg Transwarp tokens. Those times that, because you had the max, you wanted to try to accumulate some of those as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those Borg events that we used to kill. So
sure,
it has happened before.
It has. Jonathan Ingram has almost 100 cells. How do you have 100? Good God. Cruzito has 55. Ice Wolf has 25. Mama Mentality has 22. And that's right. Morbid John is vindicated today. Because I bet you he's rolling in his event. I'd love to chat with him. I don't know if he's in the audience. I'd love to just know how many cells did he. What?
I had 20 for today.
There you go. I'd love to know how many cells Morbid John rolled into today with because he predicted this a month ago. Killer Angel says, I thought there was a max of 9. Nope, absolutely not. There are no caps on that cell lock, which is odd, weird. All right, that's never happened before, but there are no caps. You can just keep earning. Keep earning and earning and earning and earning. Okay? Stargate says, I started the day with 60 cells. Pretty daggone well. Lango says, DJ, it's a token, not a cell. All right, fair enough. The cap was only for cells.
Silence have
tokens,
a cap because
that's
silent sourcing doesn't suck.
Yeah, tokens are fine, okay? There you go. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Jules is going to induce a stroke in you like he did in me earlier today. And we're going to talk a little bit about the War Room. We are going to take a very quick break. And I'm going to remind you in commercial form about the current promotion that we've got going on. I would like to welcome all of our listeners in. Thank you, Stargate Command, for being a very first-time chatter. Appreciate you guys all being here. We are up to 370 people in our live studio audience, so thank you so very much for being here. Would you like to win a free cruise? Well, I'm going to give you information on how to do that right here and now. My name is Ultimate DJs. Thanking you for being a part of our live studio audience. Please don't go anywhere and listen to these fine words from our fine sponsors. We'll be back right after this on Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast.
Scotty, we'll need everything you have. Warp speed. Nice.
Commanders, that sound can mean only one thing, and it's that we are hyping up Star Trek The Cruise 8. Why, might you ask, are we hyping this up? Because we are bringing you with us. That's right. Talking Trek presents Star Trek The Cruise 8 Sweepstakes, where you've got a chance for you and a friend to join us on the boat. Support the channel however you would like, through Patreon, through Twitch, and even by sending simple postcards. The official rules are available on our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com, also on our Discord, and in our Twitch chat. Hurry and get your entries into the contest right now. There are no limits and no purchase is necessary. You want to go cruising with myself, Griffin, Wardod, and so many more? Then enter now for your chance to win for you and a friend to cruise Royal Caribbean for Star Trek The Cruise 8, where we will be celebrating 30 years of Voyager. That's right, it's the 30th anniversary. Find the official rules and get entered today. This portion of the show brought to you by crazybunch.org. Are you old like Bubba Joe and get tired playing video games? Surtail has a solution for your health and wellness needs, especially while gaming. You could try an energy gummy for those long incursion events, or just to keep yourself conscious while you're doing all that mining. Surtail is an independent distributor of all aerial products you'll need to improve your gaming experience. Message Surtail on Discord or visit crazybunch.org for more information.
Yo, what's up, Commanders? Great news about PvPTarget.com. You've known for a while that it exists and has some great reference tools regarding PvP banding and common crew loadouts, but they've recently launched brand new tools on the site, including a brand new cargo calculator page as well. This isn't your typical max cargo style calculator, but a brand new, unique tool that identifies the timer until you go over cargo. The game timer might tell you how long to zero the node, but how long until your miner is at risk? You can find out now by using the brand spanking new cargo calculator at PvPTarget.com. Today's show brought to you in part by the Musgrove Trial Firm in Georgia. Have you suffered personal injury in Georgia? You need a buddy. Give Buddy at the Musgrove Trial Firm a call, 678-226-1994. Visit them online at musgrovetrialfirm.com.
This program is made possible in part by a grant from NutriPain, the all-natural fiber-loaded cereal that'll bind up in your intestines like quick-set cement.
All right, team. Now that we're selling higher-priced items, we need a new name for the Dollar Tree. Any suggestions?
How about money doesn't grow on dollar trees? Like, you need to work and earn big money to shop here.
Well, we don't want to come across as hoity-toity. Then we'll get too many Karens complaining to our managers about the crappy products.
Maybe Dollars Tree. Pluralize it so people know you still need to come in with at least a few bucks.
No, that makes us sound low and crummy. We're not Dollar General. Come on, people.
I have an idea.
Whose kid is this?
It's Bring Your Kid to Work Day, sir.
How about not charging $7 for pieces of junk? People can spend $7 anywhere. They come to Dollar Tree to spend $1.
All right, let's make a note to cancel next year's Bring Your Kid.
$1.
Security! Looking for some cheap furniture you can throw around? Line 'em up and knock 'em down. 2 more, let's go. Come on down to Chair Chuckers, where we have tons of furniture models that can withstand any wear and tear. Maybe something's telling me this ain't over yet. No way it was our last night. A perfect fit for any frat house or Nashville bar. Chair Chuckers chairs are warranted for up to 5 years. Or at least until your next studio album comes out. Looks like I'm learning the hard way again. It's all my fault. Yeah, I dropped the ball. Chair Chuckers, for the man who isn't satisfied with simply just being a lazy boy. Thought you should know. Thought you should know. Thought you should know.
And now, another exciting moment in golf on the radio.
And we're back here on 12 with Smith putting for a chance to par the hole.
And look at that grass, John. Have you ever seen grass that grassy?
Well, they tell me it's imported, Jack. It's called Bermuda Blue.
Wow, I wonder if they got that sand from Bermuda, too.
The sand is from Home Depot, as Smith is still lining up his putt.
Outstanding analysis, John. I love the garden section at Home Depot. The flowers, simply amazing.
Smith is still standing over the ball. Standing. Standing. Standing.
Do you think Home Depot can help me with my toilet? This was another exciting moment in golf on the radio.
Yeah. Bringing it back with Destiny's Child there. GP Factor says, "Yo, DJs, you never gave a crew. That's because I was stroking out." All right, real quick. Let's come back. Let's summarize with the crew. Again, your damage output. You're all about isolytic. Okay. Me personally, I don't like to go anywhere unless I'm going to also get paid for it. So I still like Ent E, Picard, but again, we're still talking a little bit about maximizing the isolytic. And as Blue pointed out, there is going to be a little bit of an advantage mathematically with Pike in that captain's chair. All right, so you got Pike, you got NT Data on one side, you got Janeway on the other side. That's probably going to do pretty good for you as far as maximizing your isolytic output. But, of course, you still want to be able to survive. Me personally, Cruzito, that's exactly what they were just suggesting, Pike, E-Data, Janeway. Me personally, I'm going to go with the anti-Picard Data Janeway combination, all right, because I still want to be paid. All right, so I'm going to go with that loot bonus from NT Picard, and I don't feel like that's going to cost me a ton. Blue, let me ask you very quickly, mathematically speaking, what percentage are we talking about giving up here? Because NT Picard does take a minute or two to stack, right? But we're only talking a difference of probably 2 or 3%, right? When we're talking about over the course of 5 rounds?
You're talking about versus Data?
Versus Pike, Data, Janeway. If you got NT Data, Janeway versus Pike, Data, Janeway, how much of a percentage are we actually talking about?
Definitely depends on the tier there.
And your
I
firing
would
pattern.
say most of us aren't like past tier 2, right, on our mini Picards.
Probably not.
So 5%, and then I think some of us are hopefully around tier 3 by now on our Janeway. So
I don't know. I think mine's still tier 2. I don't know. Tier 3 might be a thing. Lango, thank you very much for that generous drop into the chat. Appreciate that very much. Lango dropping 10 gifted subs into our Twitch chat. By the way, just as we were talking about like right before the break, Lango just now hooking up with 20 bonus entries into Star Trek The Cruise sweepstakes, brought to you by Talking Trek. I really would like to find a title sponsor there, Jules. You know, brought to you by Coke Zero or something. I mean, that would be really cool, right? That being said, Lango hooking up with 20 bonus entries, and everyone that he just got a sub for hooking up with a free entry as well. For example, who just got one? I saw one. Hi, Norwich. How you doing? Anywho, so we're talking a couple of percentage points. Now, that could obviously matter a great deal, right? It could, but
so
I still want to get paid.
So just in terms of the values, a max data is 40%, and that was outclassing the 5% NE Picard. And now my tier 3 Janeway is 20% isolated damage, half of that, which is equal to a tier 3 data. So a tier 3 data and a tier 3 Janeway are comparable.
If you're using Pike. If you're using Pike in the middle, right?
I mean, they're both. No, I mean, it just meant that they're both 20%. At the start of combat.
Okay, that's
so.
Jules, let me ask you. I thought Blue is struggling today.
So
man.
I just meant in terms of the. I just meant that.
I was trying, Blue. I was trying to come back and save you, man. But you are still wandering. You are still in the forest.
I just meant in terms of comparison. You have.
Well, nobody's going to compare data and Janeway.
Half of a max data is equal to a Janeway. And a max data definitely outclasses a tier 2 card. So in terms of straight comparisons, I only have this max data, so I don't have a tier 3 data to test this.
I think what we were looking for was the impact that Pike would have. We've all agreed that we're looking at data on one side, Janeway on the other side. Okay, that we agree with that. That's not what we're trying to compare. We're trying to compare what E. Picard does in a captain's chair as compared to Pike.
I'm just writing the math in my head real quick on the
And
So
that
we'll-
would
multiplier.
So we'll come back
based
to
on
that.
Tier, based on tier of officer.
All right, so we're gonna come back to that. Jules, let's take a look at the war room, and we're gonna come back when Blue figures out the math on that. Okay. Brent says it's probably
Won't
Pike.
that also depend on your firing pattern? Because Picard is based on each weapon shot, right?
That's correct.
So, all right.
So what
This
is
is
he
a
actually
firing
giving in the average? If you're firing X amounts per shot, what do you need to make up what Pike would be giving? So 20% on the 20% each side. So you're looking at an extra 8%, extra 4%. What are we saying? What is that Pike's percentage actually giving two sides that are say 20%?
Well, Pike by himself only gives a 20% boost, right?
Yeah, and so 20% to give two sides who have 20%. So 20% of 20
is 4%.
So 8% between the two of them. Does Picard beat 8%? He should.
Oh, is Pike a 40% boost by himself? I thought he was 20. Is he 40? 40. Okay, so it'd be 8% then. So 8% difference in isolytic. Now, when you're talking about damage output with a 1 million damage multiplier, like the NX-01 has, 8% probably pretty daggone good when you're talking about the isolytic factor. That being said, 8% means that you're going to kill, 12 extra hostiles without Pike to get the same score. Is that a ballpark, Jules? Roughly, I mean, ballpark, you would get the same score, 12 hostiles faster if you use Pike in the middle. So yeah, actually, it does sound like Pike is probably the way to go there. See, I hate to go without the loot though, but I mean, I guess if you're doing it enough and you've got all those cells, then that's right. Yeah, Pike's going to deal more damage.
As you always say, mileage may vary because there is lots of people with tier 4, tier 5 NX-01s. If you go down to the level 40s, you could possibly kill these hostiles in the first round or early second round. In which case, Picard just can't ramp up in time.
Yeah, there's
He's
not
always
enough
gonna be
time.
useless. But if you have rounds that are going, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds, especially because after starting at round 2 and all even rounds, the weapon 3 and weapon 4s really proc Picard.
Yeah.
So he starts to really ramp up. So again, like you said, mileage may vary.
Yeah, well, and we'll leave it there. Galanthus, I'm with you. He says, I'm too drunk to understand what's going on right now. I'm not even drunk, and I don't understand what's happening right now. All right, so, Q said... What?
Sorry, this is Putz.
Hi, Putz.
I have a question for Jules. Just so I'm understanding Picard and Picard's officer ability. It starts at like what, 5 per tier 1 is 5% for each shot. Is that correct?
Tier 1 is 3%.
3%. Okay, and what is tier 2?
5%.
Is that 4? Say that again.
Tier 2 is 5.
Okay, so at 5%, wouldn't just 2 shots per round, like if you're firing 2 weapons per round, then you're now above the extra. You would be at 10% instead of the 8%. What Pike would give you?
Not
Well, that's
necessarily.
8% on each side, wasn't it? With 40%, it was 8 for each, so it's total 16% ISO that's been increased.
You're including Janeway on the others. Okay, gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pike in the middle is given 1.4 times data and 1.5 times Janeway.
Right. That's where I was trying. That's where my math was messing up. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, moving on to War Room. We ready for that?
I don't know if he's ready, but everybody else is.
Is it my turn now? Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh, okay. God, jeez, thanks. Appreciate it, guys. All right, Jules, how you doing, man?
Good. Okay, so I am I'm posting this in the Twitch chat. It's here.
Okay.
I can't pin it.
Here we go. War Room.
And then I've also included a couple of screenshots and the link to the same spreadsheet in the lab. So if you wanted to go ahead and put that in the graphics room for our podcast audience.
I will gladly do so. There it is in the graphics room. There's the link to this spreadsheet. And what we are looking at is the specialty building master overview. That's right, in song form. I watched that movie this past weekend.
Right. So just for everybody's knowledge, we have combined all of our various charts and just taken the buildings out of that and put it all into here. It just makes sense to have all the specialty buildings since they have similar modifiers. If you're interested, go ahead and make yourself a copy, put in your own efficiencies, research in here to actually get a more accurate upgrade time frame. But there is a war room tab. So if we go over to the war room tab, we not only have the upgrade information for every level of the war room, we've got some overview information here, and we are starting to collect the war chest contents. Now, we had gotten several player submissions, some data submissions, to get us some of the data, but it didn't quite make all the sense. So luckily, we've actually gotten Scopely released their article, which filled in a lot of missing information, but still left a lot of gaps. So we still have a lot of gaps. So if players can help fill those gaps, there is a possibility that we may actually be able to math out what they meant by the War Room rewards bonus. We have some tips on that, and that we're going to try to just spend some more time mathing out. Maybe we can figure it out. But there is the source and the location of all the information we can talk about.
And what you're referring to is the blog post that Scopely launched today that had the stuff for the contents that change every 5 levels, right? And we have confirmed that it only changes every 5 levels.
That's correct.
One of the things
not true, actually. For some reason, just Op 60 or level 60 and just level 70 change. But other than that, it's every 5.
56. Yeah, then 60. That's weird. And a 61.
And 61.
Because they're changing the contents to be the G6 materials. Gotcha.
No, they're not. I don't ask me why they did that. But they just made Op 60 and Op 70 special. I think possibly because those are technically caps for some servers. 70 for the caps for all servers, but 60 for some.
I gotcha. Yeah, that actually makes a little bit of sense. Okay, so this, by the way, is our super efficient form of data. Can't you see how great of a spreadsheet it is and how easy it would be to copy and paste the data out of this? This is what we use today. All right. That being said, we have, Jules and Blue have put together all of this information in a beautiful spreadsheet that is actually super easy to copy and paste, and they've done all the different calculations on this as well as far as what you're getting, where the reward breaks lie, and more specifically, talking about the emblems of honor. So if we go back and we talk about the loop on this, all right, this is something that we talked about earlier on the show. I guess it was Tuesday night. We kind of talked a little bit about what this loop looked like, and I encouraged, and I broke the news that night that yes, indeed, you can stack your war keys. The war keys are what you earn from the Alliance milestone event. Those war chest keys are what you use to then open the war chest. The war chest will pay you the resources, the materials. It will also pay you the research particles, the seals of Cthulhu. And it will allow you to earn the emblems of honor. Okay? The emblems of honor are the building materials. All right? The building materials then are invested into the building, and as you level the building up, at least at the early levels, every 5 levels, starting at level 1, then 6, then 11, then 16, and so forth and so on, it will increase the amount of payout. Now, yesterday when we were looking at this, Jules, or Tuesday when we were looking at this, we were kind of hoping that the emblems in the war chest were going to really, really ramp up. All right. Unfortunately, that did not happen. At level 1, the war room will pay 93 emblems of honor. All right. That's 93 building materials, and that's per open. I should remind you that the Alliance milestone will pay you 10 keys a week, which means you can open your war chest twice a week, okay? Just 2 times in a week. All right. That being said, we could earn at level 1, 186. All right. Jonathan Ingram says every other week. Is it every other week? I thought they were running this every week. Are they only running it every 2 weeks? No, they're not. Jules, are they only
Well, then
running?
it would be weekly. Then you would get this emblems.
Yeah,
weekly,
they
but
are running
I
it.
thought it was every week.
I thought, yeah, it says even that it will reset in 6 days right inside the game. They announced every other. All right, I am almost sure that that's not right. All right, I will go back and double check, but here, let me see if I can find that out real quick. War chest. See, it actually says your war chest will reset in 4 days and 13 hours. So, but I will have to go back and kind of double check on that and see where did they say it was every other week? Is it in the news? In the announcement that Hammy posted, it says the War Room Emblems of Honor can be acquired by opening your war chest regularly. Make sure to open it every week to level up your war room.
There's conflicting information in the VIP Discord.
Wow. All right, so VIP Discord. Now, Brent says, so we save the second pull or no? Me personally, I'm going to save them all. I'm not opening it right now. Not until I run out of Emblems of Honor. And this is kind of something we were talking about on Tuesday, Jules. Right now, there are events that are paying it. All right? There are events that are paying Emblems of Honor, but I feel like I kind of want to maximize my rewards. Now, I'm not super excited about the resources and materials. That's not necessarily what I'm excited about, but golly, maybe it doesn't matter at all, Jules, because if I have a level 1 war room, then my Emblems of Honor are 93. But if I have a level 70, then it's still only 125, which is a difference of only 32 Emblems of Honor. A difference between level 1 and level 70 pays only 32 difference in Emblems of Honor. Jules, how many Emblems of Honor would it say take to go between level 25 and 26? Going to throw him out there because obviously he has the entire chart memorized.
Well, about 20,000. 19,316. It's on there.
Is it? Is it right here?
Just that level?
I missed it.
Just that level? Hold on. 3,400.
3,400. But I am earning, at that point, 102. Twice a week. Now, again, if the conflicting information out there is every other week, which I don't think that it is. All right, I don't think it is. I do think it's twice a week, and we're going to get the event every week. That's my opinion, but I could be wrong. I'll try to confirm that for you. That being said, if it was 102 twice a week, then Jules, we're looking at 204. How many did you just say it was going to cost? 3,000.
3,400.
Holy cow. That's 17 weeks for one level. Am I doing my math right? 17 weeks for one level.
Well, no, not weeks. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's a lot of weeks.
That's a lot of weeks, Scopely.
That's a lot of weeks.
17 weeks for one level. And that's not even a high level. That's between 25 and 26. All right. Now, let me answer a couple questions. There are a lot of questions in the chat, so let me try to get to these as we're going along with our teaching. Where do you spend the Seals of Cthulhu? You spend those in the combat research tree. It's very, very early on. Combat research tree for a research called Tactical Warmonger. Go to your combat tree. It's very, very early. I think probably row column 12 or something like that. And there it is. It's a 3-level research that, by the way, Jules, will take, if I'm not mistaken, 300 of these Seals of Cthulhu. And we should come back to our chest and remind everybody that every time you open a war chest, you get 1 Seal of Cthulhu. 1.
So it's 50 weeks for each level.
50 weeks to get 1 research at 1 level.
Correct. which actually, we got to be fair. Like it is actually sort of similar to the Dolomite drip when that was first introduced.
True.
It's sort of similar to the Prime Orbit medallions now that they've been introduced.
Fair.
It is going to be a long time. So if we kind of label this tactical monger as a warmonger as a prime, and they're giving this way free prime particle, then I can't fuss too much. Like that is.
Do you consider tactical warmonger a prime? I guess it is, right?
Yeah, I mean that percentage is similar to other primes they've released. Like just look at Prime Interceptor Wrecking. Right next to it.
All right. Cruzito says the same thing. It is a prime for free. Come on, DJs. Okay. I'm backing off.
True.
That's fine. I'll back off on that point. Fair. Okay. So if we are looking at 1 year for one level of the prime, then fine. I can get behind that. All right. The bigger problem that I have here, Jules, is literally upgrading the building. It's not the Seals of Cthulhu. I'm fine at that point. All right. I'm talking about 17 weeks to go one level on a building. And that, by the way, is level 25 to 26. If you went deeper than that.
Let me give you some other data here. So let's just kind of go for larger jumps. So let's just say you want to get this building up to level 31. That will take 6 years. To 41.
Hold on, wait. Back it up, turret. Back it up. To get to level 31. 6 years? No.
Yeah. And don't worry, all the events that have been dropping recently and all the extra emblems they've been giving us will chop a few, maybe a couple months off.
And by the way, if it is bi-weekly, could end up being 12 years because there are screenshots.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Let me get through this because there is people who have valid comparisons because we talk about when Syndicate released, but let me just finish with this. At 41, it's 11 years. At 51, it's 16 years. To get to level 61 is 23 years, and to max the building is nearly 30 years. Okay. 30 years to max the building.
Obviously, they're going to provide more sourcing. Obviously
they are.
They're going to provide more sourcing.
And we are always pointed to two other types of long-term progression. Let's talk about Syndicate. When Syndicate was first launched, it was 25 levels. And we only had the drip that came from the Syndicate and packs.
Agreed.
How long did we predict it was going to take at that point?
7 years.
Remember? 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And before levels 26 through 35 released, the Mantis was released.
That's correct.
Which immediately provided triple 10 times the sourcing for some folks. So that changed. Okay, Command Center. When that was released, how long do you think it took without any other bonuses to get Command Center maxed?
Oh, I don't remember max, but I know 40 was the goal everyone was trying to get to, and I'm pretty sure it was like 18 months.
Yeah, 40 was long distance. To max it was 10 years.
Oh, to max it. Okay, gotcha.
When it was released. Yeah. So yes, they are these really long term, and Command Center there's been some extra drip, mostly 7 of 9 skill, and some efficiencies that have brought down the cost of upgrade. So yes, there is going to be some adjustments. We can all see that now. But let's just focus on the fact that this is the longest day one long-term build.
Yeah. Let me ask a question, Jules, just hypothetically speaking, theoretically speaking. We've asked this question a gazillion times. Why launch something that has this kind of a timeline on it? I think that it's released this way because they know people are going to spend on it up front? Like, I mean, that's got to be it, right? And I don't mean that as a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, they make it better later, but they might as well make it as slow as crap now because people will spend money on it. Is that it?
This, we've always, one of your things that you always say is good about spending and where money can be spent is if it shortens down grind. It reduces time to get to a certain thing, right?
But if you artificially, and when I say artificially, if you take something that you have intentionally made 30 years. Like, are you not creating that problem? Like,
I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not arguing that point. What I'm saying is that if we look at how much time a pack saves you, right? How much syndicate are you getting? How many days would you normally naturally get that syndicate? If rep packs, how much days would it take you to normally get that much rep? You think about that. How many months of game time are you saving by purchasing this $100 pack? This is exactly, I think, maybe is what your point was. These packs that they're selling for the War Room is saving like years, multiple months.
but
So
it
this
can't
is
actually
by
be that.
far the
That's what I'm
biggest time
saying.
saving.
Yes, but we
At
as
launch.
players should recognize that this is impossible. This is not sustainable. It's not feasible. So shouldn't we wait to see what the value of that pack actually is? That's right, Ben Hill. They're fake years. And I know I'm guilty
Very
of it.
true.
I bought a pack the other
It's
night.
very true.
I'm guilty of it. I bought a pack the other night. And by the way, I said, and I still say, that the buffs provided by the War Room are not something that I'm upset with. Okay? I'm actually not unhappy that I spent $100 on this building. All right? Because the $100 that I spent got me X amount of isolytic output and these other officer stats. That's how I justified it to myself. This is what I paid. This is what I got. But I mentioned during the same show that I was very, very aggravated with the war chest part of this feature. The war chest part of this feature was very, very aggravating, and it's more so here today. This war chest, I almost wish they hadn't have done it, Jules. It sours the feature. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You have some other statistics for us. I know that you wanted to talk a little bit more about the War Room and the chest and stuff. So I'll be quiet. It gives me a vein popping out in my head, dude.
So I'm curious why you're upset by the war chest.
Because I feel like the war chest provides absolutely no value at any point during its progression. Or
So even if you're maxed for your ops, you don't feel like that is. If you just kind of look in the shared among all grades, you'll see the resources, the base resources. So you as an ops 58, what are you, 57, 56?
56. I'm an ops 56.
Okay. Then you're getting 3/4 of a trillion par steel
Here we go.
Twice that every week. So you're 1.25, 1.5 trillion par steel every week from this. Is that something that is not valuable to you? I mean, I know
it would
be.
Rate it. It would be, absolutely. Except we're 25 years away. And that's what I'm fussy about.
That's the thing you're upset at. You're upset about the upgrade. You're not upset at the war chest, are you? Like, I want to separate these two issues.
The problem is the war chest. The war chest will never, ever get to the point where it is valuable. My war chest, I spent $100. And my war chest is giving me 380,000 steel. You see what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with where you are now, but if we're saying, hey, if the War Room is going to get better eventually, and you're going to get this max for your ops level in maybe, let's say, a year, by that point, you're going to be G6, maybe early G6. Is it then going to be worthwhile to you? Like, is the war chest as a design okay? But it's divorced from the actual reality of upgrading the building?
That's a fair observation, and probably. All right.
This is actually honestly an open question, and I've been asking people this question who have invested in saying, hey, do you find value in the war chest? And I think a lot of people are looking at the war chest as a design and saying, well, it's not as much as I would get in a pack, like in the resources pack. But maybe that's not the point. The point is that this is not another treasury.
It's another Monavine.
Right. It's another Monavine, but it also has the materials and the ship parts, right? So it has this dilution of all of these common materials and resources that we need. So it is a bit diluted, which means we may not be excited by any one number, but the pure fact that we'd be maybe getting that at our ops level is that exciting for anybody. I guess this is just an open question for people who look at the war chest contents and say, is this anything that's ever going to excite me? Let's just ignore the upgrade path for now, since we know that they'll probably get better.
Well, let me ask this. All right, and that's a fair thing. We could talk about the resources, the materials, possibly. Okay, I'm not. For me, at Ops 56, 14 billion dilithium is good. All right, and I would be at 28 billion dilithium over the course of a week. I'm cool with that. For event rewards, especially, by the way, let me point out, event rewards that I'm probably not doing much on, that my alliance is probably carrying me on, that's great. Okay? I guess you're right, Jules. It's about getting there. Now, I will point out, with the materials and the ship parts, that I think is pretty garbage all the way up. All right. At Ops 56, at War Room level 56, I would get 24 rare ship parts. That's a joke. I can get 100 rare ship parts in a day out of my refinery. I mean, I could also get nothing, but 24 ship parts twice a week. All right. I think that's actually terrible. All right. 386 ship parts, or if I'm looking at the materials, where are the materials? Here we go. 56. Where are the... Oh, there are no materials. Oh, here they are. Okay. Materials, 170 rare 5-star material. All right. Now, Pixelate says it is a drip at least. It should be bigger. I agree. I think that a lot of people probably are maybe mischaracterizing their frustration, Jules. So I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad you drew that distinction, because I look at these numbers and I do agree that they're going to speed it up. They have to. They will. But it still sours the taste up front. It still looks bad up front. And further, I can't even realistically calculate how long it's going to take me to get there. To me, Jules, these rewards are forever and away unobtainable. As a matter of fact...
Let me point out one other thing, and then Forgotten Sec has this right. The nice thing about how they've designed the war chest is that it isn't at ops or at building level, say 20, you're getting G2. Actually, it decides what rewards you're getting based on your ops level. So immediately at level 1, you're getting Sigma. We don't have that number, but we know at level 1, you're going to get Sigma. That's huge. We don't have to upgrade this to level 61 before you get your first drip of Sigma. At level 1, you don't have to spend a dime on this building. You just have to unlock it and you're getting Sigma resources.
That's fair.
Whether the amount of Sigma resources is appealing to you, maybe not.
And that's fair. I agree with that as well. I'm going to point that out as well. This was actually a very solid piece of game design in which the building doesn't have to be your level to give relevant rewards for your level. For example, what he's referring to is, say, Ops 56 for me. At level 1, I'm still going to get rare ship parts and rare materials for G5. Okay? So that is a good piece. I'm cool with that. I'm good with that. I see it. That's a good piece of design. I don't know. I feel like the numbers are too small, given the frequency at which we're going to be able to open this chest. But also, yeah, just in leveling the chest. You give me something. This is where you cross the line between anticipation and stagnation. You give me something that looks like it's going to take 30 years, I'm immediately checked out. Don't care. You know, I spent $100 on this building for science and showed you guys some stuff, and I'm happy with the isolytic that I got. I'm not spending another dime on this building because why? As a matter of fact, Jules, I have a disgusting number for you. I know a player who reached out to me. I'm not going to name names. He took it to level 70 already.
Yep, I got information from them.
$4,500 is what it costs to take that building to level 70 straight out the gate. $4,500 to take the building to level 70. That to now, okay. Let's take a look at what the building does at level 70. What does that building do at level 70? Crazy enough, it's actually pretty significant. All right, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's not. Level 70 statistics on this thing for a G6 player, probably pretty daggone good. I can only see to level 60. All right, so let's look at stfc.space because I can't actually go that far.
It's in the spreadsheet, man.
Oh, is it? You got the stats?
You were right there.
Hold on.
Go to the overview. Just scroll up.
Look at there. There. Okay, we got it. So,
just or scroll up to see the overview so you can see different levels. Yeah.
50% isolatic damage, 2,250% officer stats, 3,200% shield health. I mean, those are significant. That's super significant. Especially the isolatic damage. 50% isolatic damage is huge. That is huge. All right. So I'm not saying that the building doesn't have value. I don't know if it's $4,500, but I spent $100 on it, and I know this seems weird. No regrets. I'm fine to have spent the $100 to have gotten my 8% isolatic. I think what frustrates me, Jules, is the timing on this thing. To know that I'm 20 years away from getting close to my level. That's crazy, man. That's just crazy. You know? And to that, Scopely, like, this is where you run the risk of actually stagnating interest in a feature. I go back to forbidden technology. Let me ask this question. For those of you in the chat who do not own the Ferengi whip, okay? For those of you in the chat who do not own the Ferengi whip, do you actively care about forbidden technology? If you do not own the whip, do you give a damn about forbidden technology? Now, I want to timestamp this chat at 11:19 p.m. Eastern Time in not only the Discord, but also in the Twitch, where the answer, Jules, is unanimously no. I don't care. Psyduck is the only yes. Psyduck says yes. Yes, sir. I do care. He's the only one. I see NetNiv. It's not unanimous. We've got one. Oh, NetNiv. Wait, NetNiv, you don't own the Ferengi whip? You don't own the whip? Karkin says, I disagree with you, but you moved me off the stage. There was a lot of noise, man. I don't know. My nerves were frayed a little bit. I'm sorry. I had to clear out some noise. It was a lot of noise. Cares is a big word, says Scalyback. All right. NetNiv says he does not have the whip and he does care about forbidden tech. Okay, that's fair. Everybody can. I believe that the point that I was making there, NetNiv, was when you put something so far out of reach to players, something that they feel like they can never, ever, ever get to, then why would you expect them to care? Right? I mean, I'm not saying that people should care about forbidden technology. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But I understand why most people don't, because why should they be excited? Why should they look forward to something that is literally years away? You know what I'm saying? And that, unfortunately, is how I feel about this war room. I'm happy with the building. The buffs look good, Jules. I think it's scaled well. I think it offers very valuable rewards. Then I look at the task of upgrading it, and I'm like, oh, God. I'm never going to get there. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Just doesn't feel good.
I agree. And I think Grisito makes a good point, and maybe indirectly, but I'm concerned that any ways of boosting any ways of efficiency are either going to be ops locked or prime locked or other ways of locked behind maybe a new ship's refinery, whatever that means. I feel like I'm concerned that they are definitely going to create a separation between the free to play progression and the paid progression path, and it's just going to be the free to play that are going to be stuck there.
And I get it, Q. When you start playing a game like Zelda, players don't get the Master Sword right away. They have to work towards it. Except, Q, can you just buy it? Can you just buy it? And further, does it take 30 years to grind it? You know? And again, I'm not talking about not being happy about grinding stuff. I'm fine offering, I actually insist on offering a grinder's path. Okay? I insist on it. I'm pleased that Scopely has a day one sourcing plan. All right. I would be a hypocrite if I said otherwise. But day one sourcing is 30 years. And we all know it's not going to be that. But it's hard to look at it and be excited when it looks as bad as it does. Murphy does point out the dramatic feature or the dramatic observation jewels. Even if they speed it up by 10x, it'll still take 2 years. And by the way, I'm actually okay with that. 2 years to max this thing out for your ops, or two years or less to max this thing out for your ops, I think that's okay. I think a feature is allowed to have a year and a half, a 2-year life cycle. I'm good with that. And hopefully that's what this ends up being. All right? But 30 years is just ridiculous. All right. Now, Ransusi points out something super obvious, and I do want to open up the stage for a little bit of discussion on this, and we can even carry this forward into the next part of the show. I will invite people up to the stage to offer some commentary on this. Let's talk about what this building has done for PvP in the game. Now, granted, I still think PvP is busted. Okay, I do. But isn't it kind of interesting to you, Jules, how Logan was able to get people re-engaged with it and not just miner hunting? I think there's a very, very interesting concept or an interesting conversation that can be had here. Cruzito says our server's gone full chaos. Nura says, I agree, PvP is completely busted. But you know what, Nura? Everybody's doing it right now. Right? Like, people are doing it right now. So servers are descending into chaos. So that's a fair observation.
I'll give you my perspective here.
Yeah.
I think that he is encouraging PvP, and he is making it interesting with the events, the rewards for the events, the way that you engage. It is very interesting. But there is several different scoring mechanics with like who you can hit, what bonuses are given, how much weight any particular PvP hit actually grants you in that event, that make it very difficult for a lot of servers rows to kind of either be flexible to those changes, to incorporate those changes into the row to still try to protect miners or otherwise. And I know that there's a lot of servers that say, well, screw your row is bad. But it still goes to say each of these servers that does have these rows that are being disrupted those are thousands of players that are trying to cope, trying to understand, and trying to adjust. So for instance, I think I'll just use server 44 as an example here. We protect miners, under protected cargo miners and token space. However, the war room grants PvP bonus for anything. So that means you can hit under protected cargo bonus or under protected cargo miner.
But it's a milestone, dude.
I agree with you. And so our row actually specifies you can't hit it if it's for an event. And if your alliance has finished its milestone, then whatever your hit was illegal. Okay, fine. Kitamir Accord violations, SLV, currently running. Deal 1 isolated damage. Does not specify a system, does not specify a type of ship, which means every ship is now available to hit under our row. Now, maybe our row is bad because of that. Like maybe we have to rewrite it. And in fact, there is already conversations happening within the admirals and the leaders of our server, trying to figure out how do we adjust our row to still protect underprotected cargo miners, even when there is a event that says kill anything. Even though that's not what people are getting the most points on. No one's winning this based on PvP damage, but there is players out there that are saying, great, I've got an open ticket to go PvP anything I want. United Earth Fleet. I mean, I think this event is really interesting how it gives weighted against non-friendly alliances. I think that's fantastic. And certain alliances that have friends that are friends with everybody, they're suffering. They're not going to win this ALB.
Well, also,
certain alliances that are
in fairness, it
going
also
off on their own and
specifically
being
excludes
different. Yeah.
minors, right?
But see, that one's interesting because it does exclude minors. I think that's a great design for an ALB. On the flip side, what my alliance did was mark everybody unfriendly that wasn't already purple.
Yeah, we did too.
So now we're getting lots of
we
really,
donated
lots of
everybody.
people we've never hit before. Yeah,
we
exactly,
donated the
right?
whole galaxy.
So does that change how the diplomacy in your server? Yeah, it completely disrupted the entire diplomacy of our server, which I think is kind of cool. The fact that one event can do that.
I guess this is going to come down to a really old conversation that there are so many PvE events in the game and that there should be a few PvP events in the game here and there. The unfortunate thing is, and what I see in the chat, the sad thing is that it's not real PvP. Like I can see in the chat that the winners, and actually this is a really interesting observation, that the winners of this event are cheesing it while the players who are using it as a free ticket to go PvP anything are not actually trying to compete in the event because they're just going out and killing ships. Because that's not how you win the event, right? You win the event, apparently, by cheesing this thing. So that's unfortunate. I really wish Scopely could fix that. Leslie should not work in PvP. I'm just throwing it out there. I've said this for years. Leslie should be disabled in PvP.
Even if it does, if you put it in systems, like if you put everyone in the same system that's in their certain ops bracket, then you're basically having the rest of the people in the ops bracket police their own ops bracket. Because if they can look into that system and say, oh, I see two people keep killing each other, I'm going to go in and disrupt that. Like that is one way of doing it. Doing ship specific, doing crew specific, like they must have a certain crew member on there. I don't know. There's a lot of ways of doing it.
Now, Brent says no one's winning this via Leslie. Are you which event are you talking about? You're talking about the damage event? Okay, cool. I agree with you because you're going to go get trillions, right? But if you look at United Earth Fleet, well, that's non-miners. I think that's maybe the point is that there should be a little bit of common sense here. This event right here should not, in my opinion, just my opinion, should not be a license to go kill undercap miners. All right, and I'm not offering opinion on row or anything. I'm just saying, like, if I'm an efficient player and I'm looking at this event, clearly there is a way to win. So that's what I should be focusing on. I am not going to win by blowing up Jules Miner. Right? I'm going to win.
I'm taking an opinion that a lot of PvPers like. If the event doesn't specifically tell me that I shouldn't do it, why are you telling me I shouldn't do it?
I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm saying if you're wanting to win, there's a better way to win. Right?
Right. I'm just, your opinion says, oh, it doesn't give you a license to go under UPC.
I'm not.
Who's it going to stop?
I should rephrase, and I'm trying to choose my words carefully. I'm not saying that it doesn't give you the license. I'm just saying, why would you? Right.
So, that's the point. Like, why didn't that make it into the scoring mechanic?
Why
didn't non-mining
would you?
Ships make it into that particular PvP scoring mechanic? They've already put that hook in somewhere else. They needed to put that hook in the SLB in order for that logic to continue.
For the narrative, for the story. Right?
Oh, right. Because they violated Kimber Court. They could have killed a couple survey ships.
I mean, yeah. All right. That being said, that's not the way to win that event.
So me personally, not interested in going that route because that's not how I'm going to win. And then if I take a look at United Earth Fleet, it's non-mining player ships. And when I say non-mining, by the way, has anybody tested putting a warship on a node? Does it actually count? I haven't actually tested that, but I heard somebody curious about that because it doesn't say non-miner ships. It says non-mining ships. All right, just throwing that out there. Okay. Just throwing that out there. Candid Onion says warships would still count on a node. Also, it is just a non-miner then. So they've actually... Jonathan Ingram says, put your Sanctus on one and I'll test. I'll actually do that. I'm actually happy to do that. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put my Sanctus. I'm going to put my Sanctus on a node, Jonathan Ingram. Here you go. Come and get it. I'm on a tier 1 Isogen node with my Sanctus. All right.
Oh man, 5,000 an hour. You're gonna go OPC quick.
Oh, that's good. Nera says my zeroed Selkies that got killed counted. See, now that is contradictory information.
It's not really, because I think it has to be actively mining.
Has to be actively mining. All right. Well, I am actively mining. So Jonathan Ingram is going to punch my ship right now. There he is. He just got me. I'm dead. All right. Let's see if I actually got points. I'm dead. Jonathan Ingram, did you in fact actually score points? I was actively mining with a warship, waiting on Jonathan Ingram to report his results. Anxiously waiting, excitedly waiting. No answer. Still waiting. I did not get the banner. So he did not score points. I was mining in a warship. There you go. Rand Susi said it's an ALB, so how could he tell? He'll still get a banner up top. It won't be accurate in the number of points, but he will get a banner. So if you are, yes, I was anxiously waiting. He says, you bind for 20 seconds. I was very anxious. So, yes, warships on a node that are actively, so zeros count as an idle node. So that's why we were saying if you get to a 0, even with a miner, that would probably still count. You know what? Let me see if I can find a 0 node somewhere. I'm going to go sit on it. Let me see if I can find a 0 in my territory. I don't know if I'm going to find one. That means somebody had to have been sitting idle on it. And it hasn't been reset yet. But that would be an interesting test as well. Either way, it doesn't look like I have any 0 nodes in my territory. But that is interesting. It clearly says mining ships. Doesn't say type, or it says non-mining, as in the action of mining, Nesbitt. I agree with you. All right? I agree with you. Omicron.
I have to say, is a great hook. That is a fantastic hook because that is in line with a lot of miner protections on most server rows. So I think that's a fantastic way of building in a hook, and it actually makes sense.
It does. It really, really does. And that is why when people say, Scopely says, row be damned, I don't think that that's really fair. I think that they took a lot of time to write this hook based on the fact that we've been very grumpy about free-for-alls in the past. You know?
For that event. Just, we got to be specific because the other two active PvP events, the War Room, which I know you're saying is an AMS, but also the SLB, don't have that. So I think it's a fantastic hook.
The SLB. The SLB, man. I mean, do you really think players are going out there and using PvP as a legitimate way to score in that event? Like that's what people are saying?
No, I think they're going out there and trying. When they first look at the event, they say, oh, isolytic PvP, let me go try it out. And they may go and hit miners. But I'm also saying that, like, it doesn't really matter. If you get hit once by somebody who is griefing your mining ships, then you're going to be upset. I've gotten plenty of upset messages for players.
Sapphire says the War Room and all these PvP events are the biggest slap in the face to the free-to-play community since Prime base delay. I don't know if I'd go that far, man. I don't know if I could go that far. I totally understand why people feel that way because, again, spenders are going to win. And And with the PvP bracketing, I think that's probably the bigger frustration is the PvP bracketing being so broad because nobody stands a chance, against a 10 billion power Borg cube, right? Like nobody stands a chance in that. So I get that perspective. But I also say this game has PvP as an element. It should have PvP events. There are minor and PvE style events 90%, 95% of the time. Like, there are players who like PvP. It's already a lower percentage. It's already a 5 to 10% ratio, probably. There should be those events that exist out here. So I'm fine with that. I actually am excited for these style of events. I like this kind of thing, even though I still think PvP is completely borked in this game. All right? And I agree. A level 39 versus a level 59. Wait, is that actually a thing? Can 59s hit a level 39? I'm a 56. I didn't think I could hit a 39. Can I? Oh. All right, but either way, see, that just proves that I don't do a whole lot of it because I didn't know. All I'm saying is, I think, just like Jules was trying to do for me, am I mad at the war chest? No, I'm mad at the progression. Let's be careful of what we're mad at. It's not PvP. It's who can engage you in PvP, right? That's what you're mad at. If only one level up and one level down could hit you, then free-to-play versus pay-to-play is a much more manageable thing to overcome. I know a lot of people who have spent a bunch of money on this game that are my level that I could still beat because they've spent the money and they've fast-forwarded and they haven't got the solid foundation of the account that I have. All right? On the other
that's
hand...
actually a really good point.
On the other hand...
It's a really good point to separate those two.
It is, just like you did for me. It's a very good point because you have that problem, right? You're not upset at PvP. You're upset at who can hit you in PvP. On the other hand, and I'm certainly not suggesting plus or minus one, Jonathan Ingram. I'm just saying, like, if that were the case, nobody in this game would have a problem with PvP. Literally nobody. At least as far as competitiveness. Where they would have a problem is, for example, players like Jonathan Ingram. That if you did that, he would literally have no one to play with. No one in the game is -1 for him, says Jonathan Ingram. Nobody. And that is another problem that comes with such small, isolated game servers. I wish at some point this game would actually become an MMO. I wish that this game would actually merge itself so that we could all play with each other. Because then you would not have problems like this. Let me just ask, Jonathan Ingram, if all of the North American servers and all of the European servers and all of the APAC servers played together, one server for North American, one server for European, and one server for APAC. And I don't even know if you'd have to do that. One global server. If you did plus or minus 5 in PvP, would there be a problem? A. B, would it not revitalize interesting gameplay and interesting social economics into the game to be able to play with people that you've met in the community? And I'm not simply you'd have to have like 10,000 more nodes. Oh, for sure. You would have to completely redesign the game, which is why they never will do it. Okay? They would have to completely redesign the game. But golly, that's what it should have been from the start. All right, and I'm not saying, 5 years worth of hindsight, 2020. I'm just saying, like, this game would be better. PvP wouldn't be as broken as it is if you had a larger population.
Okay, I have a crazy idea for a feature that I'm going to offer now before I'm NDA'd.
Okay.
I can't talk about it anymore. Crazy idea for a feature. I'm pretty sure this has existed in the past, is an arena. But instead of you being able to go in with your ships, your research, your officers, you have a preset selection based on a grade. So you go in, you can pick 3 different ships, all grade 3. You can pick 3 different officers to be on your bridge slot. You can set up your underdeck. They're all going to be tier 5, let's say. And you can duke it out with one other player. So it's completely even, regardless of your ops level. You can kind of really, but then you play around with different PvP crews. You play around with different ships. You're trying to, if you've got 3 ships, they've got 3 ships. You're trying to like figure out how can I get my ship to hit the right, triangle. Thought I'll pitch it later.
I mean, and here's the thing. Wham says, yeah, I think that sounds great, DJ. 120 level 70s in one alliance. No, they couldn't do that, Wham, because then they'd have nobody to play with. They couldn't hit each other. They would have to spread out the power at the top, because then they couldn't play in PvP, because at that point, then you could narrow the banding to ±3. You know? I don't know. I'm theory crafting on something that'll never, ever, 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 ever happen. I'm just saying, what are we really mad at? Are we mad at PvP? Or are we mad at who can engage us in PvP? Or are we just mad at Scopely? Sure, fair enough.
I'm not mad at. I am not mad at Logan.
I am not mad at Logan. Not in the least. I think his events are great.
His events are paying well. They're paying well. They do require grind. They're not just sit back, click a couple buttons, and you're done for the day.
Mm-hmm.
There is some very interesting hooks. And yes, I do want to make sure, especially when I'm talking to my own alliance, I'm like, guys, Logan isn't the one who made the war room and decided what the upgrade path was going to be. He's the one who came out and said, I'm going to give you a bunch of extra emblems.
Yeah, he is designed to support the feature through events and narrative, right? Like, he writes the stories. He's the one that's going full Klingon because he loves the Klingons. That's why the stories are all about Klingons and war. That was him. All right? That's him. He was given the feature. He didn't design the timeline on it, but he was given the task of selling the feature through the narrative, through the events, supporting the feature through live ops. So, I'm not mad at Logan. Not in the least. I think he's done a fantastic job. And, the features aren't even my favorite. But I've really enjoyed the creativity that he's come up with these events. And I remind you, if this event was even this big old PvP event, if it had something to do with the fact that you could only get hit by ±2 or ±3, then probably people wouldn't be that scared about it or angry about it, to be honest with you. So, anywho. All right, listen. Wolfwood, Hammy went on vacation. He's not running from the PvP people or the PvE people. He's on vacation. All right, we're going to take a break. Jules, when we come back, Ripper's on the stage. Hi, Rip. How you doing? In the chat a minute ago, you said, wow, DJs, there's a lot to unpack there. Holy sheesh, there's a lot to comment. You don't think that this game, we don't have time to do this before the break. We could do it after the break. But real quick.
If you want.
Do you think that this game would survive as single world?
No.
Absolutely it would.
Nope.
Why not?
Well, first of all, the overall setup and design fundamentally doesn't support this.
I don't mean the engineering part. I'm talking about us as players. Yes,
however,
clearly Scopely does not have the hardware support.
Your assumption is that more players will just, balance out PvP into their own brackets by themselves. That is not what will happen. People do not work this way. Players do not work this way. That's well established in game design. That's not how people operate. What will happen is there will form a faction of players that will just kill everything they can, no matter what. And you will make that even worse the more players you have, which means you have to employ more game design and gameplay features to actually combat this drift into that area.
But then you would have the population to actually mechanically narrow the bandwidth. You could why are G5
narrowing
and
the
G6
bands is also I don't think that is the laziest approach to trying to make it sort of maybe a little better. I
But
think
that's what the community wants. They don't want a 39 to be hit by a 60.
Yes, they don't want this. I think. Well, there's a much bigger picture to consider and really talk about, because what you would want is that you can give players options on how they want to operate. You also want to give players just options to just have the ability to sort of help each other within like an alliance to protect themselves from threats coming in from the outside, which this game just doesn't have. It doesn't.
Agreed.
And that's more where it should go. Narrowing the bounds is first of all, just doing a fixed ±5 is also a terrible idea. Have you ever looked at the power curve? It's not linear. You can only do this if the power curve is actually linear, which it's not. So you cannot do plus a fixed -5. So whoever says that, sorry, no, that's not, no, you cannot. Because you have that exponential power curve. What I think is actually more worrying, really. So you have this war room that adds additional power creep because reasons, you know.
Well, certainly the buffs are huge.
Seemingly, the only thing Scopely can do these days is more power creep.
Well, yeah, because that's all they do is buff.
Don't necessarily see why. Sure, you now have events that kind of, you know, okay, PvP is getting more active or whatever, which is maybe a happy thing for some players. The problem is it doesn't fix the underlying problems of PvP and just kind of sort of it really, like, you might say that's not the case, but it really just forces PvP on people. That's what this does, because you have to do it to get certain rewards and achieve certain things in the game now. So you are forced to do it. That's not like really a major optional thing now.
I disagree.
Not with the events currently running, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing. You know, there's the problem is the constraints on event design really have a huge tie-in into what the gameplay and the feature set of the game actually supports. So there's like this huge, you want to get creative, you want to do new things that might be exciting for certain players, but you are just kind of shackled by, you know, limited freedom on what you actually can do with the mechanics the game supports.
But you're not forcing it on everybody because it is an alliance milestone. The War Room event is an alliance milestone. I could do nothing and still reap the rewards if my alliance participates in the event. Now,
as
you
long
have
as you have scored.
You've got to score a single point, but I mean,
so you are forced to do at least some PvP.
Oh
you
my
cannot
God.
go, I don't do PvP.
You Ripper. You think that there are?
I get what you. Yeah, I know. Obviously, you know.
No, you're not forced to get blown up, Joker. You could be the one that blows up. All you got to do is go steal one resource, one oxygen, kill one ship in a week. You're telling me that nobody can do that? You're telling me that there are people out there that don't want to do that? That find it so offensive that they can't do that? You know what I find offensive? Mining. I find that offensive.
But mining is very offensive.
I find that offensive. But that's forced on me. And by the way, forced as in the exact same way you guys are saying forced. All right? As in, if I don't play, I don't get the rewards. Same for every other event ever.
No, but really, what my well, ignoring all of that really is that they introduce new things. They introduce this new building. The only thing that does is it increases it makes the power curve more steep, which really just makes PvP worse.
Well, it does. The power curve, the power creep. Yes, I can agree with that. I think everybody does. Everybody knows
And that
that's
is a
what's going
big
to happen.
problem because they keep doing things to make, like, sure, PvE is entirely different story. If you increase player power, yes, PvE gets easier. That's fine. Whatever. So power creep for PvE, yes, that makes things basically a joke that used to not be.
Yes.
And then they have to introduce big new things to kind of pose a new challenge, which is fine to a degree. I would probably not go that route, but that's fine. The problem is when you go like, okay, we want to have PvP, but we kind of make everything we do makes PvP worse. And that is I think they really just, I think, have to take a step back and look at this and like, how can we make that not be the case?
They know how to make it not the case. They refuse because this game is so expensive. Like, that's what it is. If this game cost 99 cents, if this were a Clash of Clans account and the most you could ever spend was $4.99 or $6.99, like, then you can nerf things. All right? But when things cost $4,500, yeah, nerfing
instead of nerfing things, you could potentially go the route of just we buff things not in an equal way to bring things more in line. That is a possibility that exists.
Yeah, but that would require.
And yes, that is a huge task. That is not
Yes.
something you can do in a month.
No.
This is something that people, like an entire team has to sit, like with the amount of things in the game right now, this is something that the team has to sit down for 6 to 12 months to actually like, okay, we have to remath everything.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
So is that likely to happen? Probably not.
Probably not.
The end of that story really is PvP, unless they do fundamental changes, will never be good in this game.
It's never going to be as good as it
New
was.
damage type will not fix this. The Isolytic will not fix this. Whatever magical feature they have coming up will not fix this. I mean, I'm not even going to go into like the whole new. In my opinion, the only new feature they added in this update is the attack queue, which I'm not even going to go into because I will get very angry on that one.
What? Okay, no, listen, we got to take a break. I want to know why you think that's bad because I'm very excited about that, but I have to take a break. All right, listen, guys. Ripper's on the stage. He's sounding off about why a Scopely sanctioned bot is a bad thing, and I'm very much looking forward to botting in a legal and TOS supportive way. We're going to take a very quick break. When we return, more from Talking Trek, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. Oh, this should be exciting. Don't go anywhere.
Scotty, we'll need everything you have. Warp speed to Aye, sir.
Commanders, that sound can mean only one thing, and it's that we are hyping up Star Trek The Cruise 8. Why, might you ask, are we hyping this up? Because we are bringing you with us. That's right, Talking Trek presents Star Trek The Cruise 8 Sweepstakes, where you've got a chance for you and a friend to join us on the boat. Support the channel however you would like, through Patreon, through Twitch, and even by sending simple postcards. The official rules are available on our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com, also on our Discord, and in our Twitch chat. Hurry and get your entries into the contest right now. There are no limits and no purchase is necessary. You want to go cruising with myself, Griffin, Wardod, and so many more? Then enter now for your chance to win for you and a friend to cruise Royal Caribbean for Star Trek The Cruise 8, where we will be celebrating 30 years of Voyager. That's right, it's the 30th anniversary. Find the official rules and get entered today. Today's show brought to you in part by the Musgrove Trial Firm in Georgia. Have you suffered personal injury in Georgia? You need a buddy. Give Buddy at the Musgrove Trial Firm a call, 678-226-1994. Visit them online at musgrovetrialfirm.com. Portion of the show brought to you by crazybunch.org. Do you suffer from pixel fatigue? Well, we've got a gummy for that. Surtail has the answers for your health and wellness needs, especially when gaming. A gummy for blue light protection and eye health, an energy gummy, or how about a relaxation gummy to help you chill after Wardod kills all your miners? Surtail is an independent distributor of all the aerial products you'll need to improve your gaming experience. Message Surtail on Discord or go to crazybunch.org. Yo, what's up, Commanders? Great news about PvPTarget.com. You've known for a while that it exists and has some great reference tools regarding PvP banding and common crew loadouts, but they've recently launched brand new tools on the site, including a brand new cargo calculator page as well. This isn't your typical max cargo style calculator, but a brand new, unique tool that identifies the timer until you go over cargo. The game timer might tell you how long to zero the node, but how long until your miner is at risk? You can find out now by using the brand spanking new cargo calculator at PvPTarget.com.
This program is made possible in part by a grant from Haagen-Dazs, the Frankfurters with the Ice Cream Center.
Keep it in your pants, buddy. Keep it in your pants, pal. How does that fit in your pants? Can you stop playing with that thing? Keep it in your pants, buddy. It's so Keep it in your pants,
big.
buddy. Can you stop playing with that thing? That's big. So big. Keep it in your pants,
Keep
guy.
it in your
pants, pal.
Keep it in
your pants.
That's the problem. I always keep it in my pants.
Where do you keep your cell phone? The Terminator is back on his feet, and now he's got a brand new cover band, Arnold and the Pacemakers.
Everybody up! Open my heart, it needs some work. Doctor, you better not mess up and be a big jerk.
Listen to him cut it up, like the surgeon who cut him open.
Once upon a time, I was pumping hot iron. Now I'm not really lifting anything too heavy. My doctor says there's not much I can do. It's an arrhythmia of the heart. That's what it's called.
Part man, part machine. Arnold and the Pacemakers. Coming soon to dive bars and cardiology clinics everywhere.
Whoa! Yeah! I got a new heart now. This diet can stop. Whoa! Yeah! Come on, give me some more cheese fries and gravy. I'm so hungry.
Ooh, I'm so glad you rushed home tonight.
Are you kidding? You never send me exciting bedroom texts like that. I can't wait to see what my special surprise is.
It's over there in the corner.
Who the heck is that?
That's Charles.
Hi.
Who?
Our intimacy coordinator.
Your wife and I have been talking. We think you need to be more in touch with your feelings.
I feel like you need to put some pants on, Charles.
Why don't we start with some light snuggling?
Ooh, I like that.
No one else thinks this is weird?
Charles, I've been reading about the differences between the American and European snuggling methods. Which do you think is more effective?
Oh, that's a tough one. I may need to bring in my supervisor.
Hey, Andy!
Hi, I'm Andy. I hear you two need some bedroom help.
What is it? Okay, so actually, crazy enough, this is TLC. That's TLC, but it's not the song that I thought it was. That song is called Hey, Hey, Hey. But who did the... I thought there was a different Hey, Hey, Hey. That's not the one that I thought it was. I could do some more Destiny's Child. I've got 90s girl bands queued up here today. How about this one? Yeah, I haven't heard that one before, but now I have heard this one. I like this one. Did I play this one earlier? No, I did Bills, Bills, Bills. That's right. All right. That's not. I had fun with 90s girl bands today. That's what I was listening to. Welcome back, everybody. Appreciate you guys all being here. My name is Ultimate DJs. This is Talking Trek Live, Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. See, there are some things you guys just should not see. All right? I mean, oh, God, Ripper. Twitch is a terrible idea. Okay? Because sometimes I like to dance in the studio. Even when I used to do my radio show, like when I used to do my morning radio show, then a jam would come on, like Katy Perry's Fireworks or something.
Hey, just having fun. There's nothing wrong with that.
I used to dance my ass off in the studio. Yes, Haagen Dogs. That's right, Sapphire Steel. That was the commercial. Was Haagen Dogs. Anyway, good evening. See, there are some things that happen here you guys should never know about. All right. For example, what am I wearing on the lower half of my body? Nothing, because there's no pants in this studio. All right, nice. Ripper. Good evening to you. Appreciate you being back. Hello. Listen, I want to probably get ready to wrap up here in the next few minutes because we've been on almost 2.5 hours. But let me ask. Short says you have a cat. You have a cat avatar. Try using it. Yeah, I should, but it's weird when on the pod. I don't want to. I should. Anyway, Rip.
Do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I should. Rip. Tell me, what were we talking about before the break? Why was I getting ready to scream at you? I don't remember why.
Attack you.
They attack you. What? Why are you not okay with this? By the way.
Let me ask you a question. Can people unlock this right now?
No.
When is that supposed to be unlockable?
I mean, I don't know. At some point this month, I assume. And for the record, I'm assuming that they're probably going to charge for it. Probably. If I had to guess.
So here's my problem.
What are you getting ready to do?
Well, first of all, charging this. What a silly idea. Also, it starts off with a limit of 3 and goes up to 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder how long that's going to take for people to unlock that far.
Oh, probably a long-ass time. I don't even think it's going to be grindable up front. It should be, for the record, Scopely. It should be grindable, but I'm sure it's not going to be.
I sure hope it is grindable. I don't know if you saw.
It won't be.
So...
I mean, for the record, I'm not. Thanks, Q.
I am genuinely questioning decisions that were made on this. First of all, unless they patch this before it is rolling out, it is broken. Well, broken in the sense of like, okay, listen, okay. Let's say you said you Q attacks, right?
Okay.
Your ship is currently on the way to the next queued hostile.
Yes.
What do you think should happen when someone kills that hostile your ship is currently flying to?
It should go to the next one.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just stops.
They said it goes to the next one.
It does if you kill a hostile that is further down the queue, but not if your ship is currently en route to a hostile.
The Kirshara artifact will skip to the next hostile if something in its queue is interrupted.
Yes, if someone in the queue, but not the hostile the ship is currently flying to. I will post the video in the chat if you want.
No,
because guess what?
Please don't.
Because guess what? They have decided to implement this entirely client side. There's nothing server side, which also means if you minimize the app, the queue just pauses. Which also means it took me literally 1 minute to unlock the queue on my client and gave me unlimited queue slots.
Oh God.
And that is what they're...
Hang on. It's gotta.
So I sure hope they're gonna patch this somehow.
Oh, please. God.
Obviously, it's a lot easier to like hack your way to unlock it. But I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this, because whoever decided to implement this entirely client side must have known someone can unlock this. So I'm just gonna talk about it, that you can. I'm not gonna tell you how. There are people that can figure this out. There's already people that have.
Oh God!
But the fundamental decision of implementing this entirely client side already points to like someone just either didn't realize that, you know, people do things. Also, if I spend like maybe an hour or so, I could build an Android version to unlock this as well. It's not too difficult. So I'm questioning the decisions that were made on this. I think the most egregious thing is really that this just, like, if you watch the video that I posted in chat.
Oh my God! You posted. I want to see it. I want to see it right now. Oh my God! Hold on. I'm going to download this. I want to save it.
It's a bad video. I couldn't. It didn't. It wasn't a rush, so it's a bit weird. But if it will stop if you kill a hostile that the ship is currently flying to, which is probably the most egregious thing, which makes this entirely sort of worthless in a busy system, I would assume. So I hope that get patched. Hopefully.
Hold on. I just want to look. Just give me a second. I just want to watch it. I just time out on the podcast. I have to watch it. Okay.
But you can also see how many queue slots I have. Yeah.
99,999. Oh my God. Oh God.
Like I'm sorry. This is. What are they going to do? Like, I'm sorry. Like, sorry.
Oh God.
But you can see me queuing up things there and then killing the hostile, and then the queue just kind of stops. Oops.
Oh God. All right.
So my pylum just stopped there, but there was a queued hostile still left. Whoops.
This breaks my heart. I mean, honest to God, this breaks my heart. It does. I wanted this feature to be so great.
I am sorry, but no, we're not.
What happens? Let me ask. What happens if you go to Galaxy View or some other view? Will it still work, or like what happens if you?
I have actually not tried this. It might actually not work.
What happens if you close the phone? What if your screen time's out?
Then we'll just pause. But just not do anything.
Okay. You know what? Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic. Everything's fine. Everything will be great.
So yeah, Scopely, you should maybe consider putting some work into this. Just so you know.
And we're back, everybody. Good evening. Welcome into the show. My name is Ultimate DJs. This is Talking Trek Live, and we're Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast. After that insanely long...
Yeah, no.
People on podcasts are going to be thoroughly confused right now. They're like, wait a second.
That's fine. They can be confused. I think actually one other thing that is actually super bad.
Oh God.
You can't see on the map which hostile you've already queued.
So you can't see. Yeah.
You have to click them, and then it has a grayed out queue button.
So you have to have like a pattern of queuing up your own hostiles.
Yeah. It's a great feature.
It's great in concept, Alex.
Just give it to everyone with a queue limit of 100. Be done with it. Yes, sure, you want to make money from this, whatever. If you implement it like this, no. You deserve not to make money from that.
Oh, God. Oh, gee, Merry Christmas. All right. I feel like there's nothing that we can do at this point in this show. Like this show, we're done. We're shot. There's nothing I can say. There is literally nothing we can do. Nothing that I can say to put this show back on the rails because, oh, dear God in heaven.
Oh, you let me speak. So what do you think? The rails just disappear.
I love you, man. I love you, man.
I have also requested for my account to be deleted.
Why? You re-downloaded the game. Don't act like you're doing that because you're tempted, aren't you? You request your account to be deleted because you're tempted to play because you re-downloaded the game. Is that it?
No. Well.
Yeah.
Quality.
Oh, sorry.
No,
That button's a little late.
Here's the reality of things.
Just play, Ripper.
Which is what?
Just play.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
The sad reality of it all is, if I have an account, I there's still something that like sort of keeps me in this space. The unfortunate reality of things is, the SDFC space in its entirety is not good for my mental health.
Oh, but we love you. Don't worry about coding things and fixing things. Stop hacking stuff. Just enjoy yourself. Have a little bit of fun. I know that is how Ripper takes the train.
I have 600 hours in a game, and I have played 5.
Wait, what?
I spent 495 hours modding and dismantling a game, and I spent 5 hours playing.
When?
Different game, doesn't matter.
Oh,
but it is not in my nature to just not.
I got you. Yes,
things.
I understand. All right. Okay.
How did I get Voyager? They probably gave it to me, even though I wasn't playing. I would assume, and then I built it.
Dude,
or something.
you're still on my list. I still dump stuff into that account every month.
No, you don't. No, they don't. They stopped.
Oh, did they stop? Yeah. Hey, why don't you start hacking Supermarket Simulator for me? I actually haven't played that game in like 2 days, maybe 3 days. True talk. I'm just going to apologize. I'm going to apologize to everybody. I have no idea how to get out of this show. I have no clue how to get out of it now. Like the shock and awe is real, and I have no idea how to get out of here.
What do you mean the shock and awe?
This was the most anticipated, like the most exciting thing that was coming in this arc, and it's going to be busted.
Well, unless they release it after the mid-month patch where they fix it. They're not going to fix the client-side only thing. I don't see that happening, but who knows? Maybe.
I'm trapped!
I sure hope so.
All right. Then should the Gorn store, Omicron says, pretty good. Listen, I'm like the Gorn loop. Honestly, the Gorn loop's not bad. It's truly a 5-minute loop. Everything's great. It's actually truly a 5-minute loop. It's fantastic. I'm good with it. What do I think?
And hey, if someone from Scopely Engineering can tell me that I'm totally wrong on anything I said, I'm happy to retract whatever I said and prove us wrong.
No, I'm not going to. Okay. I prepared a full show tonight, Zoot, and I am going to be daggone if I don't actually deliver the entire show. For example, do you know how long it's been since I read the list of our Patreon names? I have cheated them. I have not done right by them. I'm going to read the names of our Patreon supporters. That's what I'm going to do. And we're just going to bounce, okay? I do want to say thank you to everybody. Thanks to Blue Mandalorian. Thanks to Jules Verne. Thanks to Karkin, even though it was a little bit loud at the beginning of the show. I do appreciate all of them and love them. It was just late. It's the end of a long day. And Blue had too much bacon. That was the problem. He had too much bacon. And then Karkin with his marijuana, and the two of them, they just started talking, and then it just got out of control. And I love them nonetheless. Ripper, thank you very much for being here. Jules, thank you so very much. And to all of you in our live studio audience, thank you guys so very, very much. I really do appreciate it. I'd like to invite you to visit our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com, where I should have actually pointed out, I added a new tab at the top of the page. I added a new page where you can get the actual contest rules and the links for our new contest. Ripper, I'm giving away a cruise on the Star Trek cruise. Now, you're not swearing off Star Trek. You're just swearing off Fleet Command, right? So you're still going to come on the cruise? You still coming on the cruise?
I don't have a ticket, and the ones available are a bit too expensive at the moment.
Nobody what? Nobody what?
I don't have a room.
Well, go buy a room. I think they still have a couple.
Have you seen the prices of what's available?
Yeah, they are a little pricey. Well, listen, you might need a snuggle buddy. So maybe somebody who wins our contest needs a +1, and Ripper is a great snuggle buddy. All right, you've got a chance to win by supporting our show. !Cruise. Go to the contest rules or visit TalkingTrekSTFC.com for your chance to find the official rules and enter the contest to win a free cruise on Star Trek The Cruise 8. That is our big sweepstakes, Ripper. I'm giving away a cruise. I'm very excited. I've got the whole room. Got everything all taken care of, and we're going to give it away. So I'm super pumped about that, and you've got a chance to win. Visit our website at TalkingTrekSTFC.com. Okay, now, what was I supposed to do? Oh, I was going to read the names of our Patreons who are also entered into the sweepstakes. I'd like to say thank you to Lord Dalix, LadyCast, Trader, Iron Chef, Virtual Army, Mechrack, Regis, Jayberg, Shady Pipes, Big Shakes, Lobot, Tundra, Decor, Cruzito, Red Susie, Hank, Abe, DJ, MC 101, Late Night Light Bull, Louis P, Osiris, Bayonetta, Grog, Archangel, Smoke Mohawk, Jetski, Papa Smurf, Jason, Captain Jack Morris, Vadium, Scorpionus, Archer and Honey and Dominus, Casey Jones, Wet Willie, Joe K9 Tooth, Sir Tail, A Fox, Judge Creighton, G-Force, Bamengas, Captain Q, Game Jr., Edinburgh, Edwater, Cha-Cha, Roar, Scarlet Hawk, Kendall, DJ's got rated again, Chaga, Never Go Full Tilly, Blue Mandalorian, Noxus Exhibitor, Fermax, Dr. Lake, Clueless One, Schizoida, Welch, Gunner, Unimatrix, Hazards for everyone, The Web, Balabomb, King 101, Medic 213, J-Babes, Dark Knight, Pixelate, Buddy, Spectre, Yukon, Nico, Diva, Dorsal, Oster 90, Shoopster, Griffin, Mean Bean, Thomas, Matters, Shadara, John, Rogue 5, Squirrel Noggin, Kathy, It's Jess Insanity, Paviala, DJ's Better Refine, More ISO, Cottontail, Sweet and Psycho, and Hazards, and Lieutenant Tom. Thank you guys so very much for supporting the show at a level of $10 or more through our Patreon. I very much appreciate it. I am your friendly neighborhood cat person, Ultimate DJ Sam Meow for now, for Talking Trek, a registered trademark and recorded in front of a live studio audience for distribution across podcast platforms everywhere. We are Star Trek Fleet Command's official podcast, bidding you adieu. Let's go do other things because I ran out of time and the buttons and the... Bye, everyone. Good night. Meow.